One of the biggest things that kind of breaks my heart with you is you've accomplished so much in everything you've touched transactionally. It has turned to gold, all the way down to the gold jacket. But like the fig tree, you still haven't found yourself. And finding yourself takes the heart.
The mind replays what the heart can't delete.
Hello. It's time for the grown man in you to grow up.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay. I am your host, Shannon Sharpe. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay. Stopping by for conversation and a drink today is a revered voice in popular media and academic circles. She's dedicated nearly 2 decades to transforming lives, a renowned life coach, a spiritual mentor, a psychology expert, a community activist, a motivational speaker, a cultural change maker, influential brand ambassador, a producer, an author, and a host. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
You know, that was good. That was good.
Did we do you justice?
You did me good. I like that.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you for stopping by Club Shay. It's an honor. It's an honor to have you here.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. I watch your show, obviously.
Thank you.
I think you are a genius of what I just told you off camera, right?
Yes.
That, how you pose your questions. It ain't messy, but it's creative.
Thank you.
And it's wordplay, and I like it. So I'm excited to be here and be able to provide my expertise to your viewers.
But you good today. You good. You're in a good space.
I am so good. I am so good. My book launched today.
Yeah.
Literally. Today that we're filming, at least.
Right.
Yes. My book, Mental Detox, launched today. I got a double book deal. Shout out to 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, for taking the lead on that.
Right.
With Random House, which is the biggest publishing company in the world.
Wow.
And so 50 believed in me, and he took the lead, and they said, well, we believe in her too. We love her. And so here I am with 2 book deals. My first book, Mental Detox, launches today, and then my second book, Marches in 2026, launches. So I'm excited. I'm a happy camper.
You would like to toast this to the great. Congratulations, 2 book deal, Mental Detox, just launched, and another book coming in 2026.
Yes.
Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and I'm not a drinker, but this is some more.
I'm talking about you.
Shay.
It's about to get good in here. It's about to get good.
My chest ain't even burning this, but
No.
this is good.
No.
You know, dark brings. You sure you want this interview after this dark?
I do. That's what I'm looking
Dark
for.
dark make you go crazy. Okay. Let me take one
We
more
gonna be tamed. We gonna be tamed. We gonna be tamed the first hour. No.
Now you ain't gonna tell me what to do. Now.
Okay. My bad. Let's go back. Let's start where it began.
Yeah.
You're a native Los Angeles.
I am.
As a kid, what were you like as a child?
What was Cheyenne like?
Yes.
as a
What was
child?
Cheyenne like as a child?
I was always feisty and strong. Always an overthinker, a processor. I was naturally an analyst. I've always been the leader amongst my friend group, who are also leaders. I don't have followers in my group. Everybody's leading.
Everybody's leading.
Everyone leads. I love that. We're all strong, and we all are so solid and vertical within ourselves that we don't need followers.
Right.
We solid with the leadership. I was a product of teenage parents. My parents were 16 when they had me. They were high school sweethearts, and they planned me. And so I was
Really?
a product of a oopsie. They said, hey, walking home from school one day, a true story. My father brags about it all the time. He says, baby, you were made from love. And he says they were walking home and they planned me, and they can only afford a motel. And they went and paid for a motel, and they conceived me. Yeah, I was born conceived in a motel, y'all, okay? In a motel, and then here I go. And so my grandparents stepped in and raised me, because my parents were obviously teenage parents that didn't understand that, you have to raise a child after you birth a child.
Because they were basically kids themselves,
kids.
trying to raise a kid. Nobody had look.
Yeah.
There's really no guide to how to be a parent. I mean, everybody thinks they had it figured out, but at 16, we're kids trying to figure out our life, and now we brought another life into the mix.
There you go.
And so, I mean, it's like you're growing up beside, like, your parents are like 20, you're a 4 or 5 year old, and you're like, is that your sister? Is that your brother?
And so we grew up together.
Yes.
We grew up together. And
what was that like?
It was actually, it was amazing. My father, he ended up being one of the biggest gangster and dope dealers in the South Bay area. And, moving weight to the East Coast, Ohio being one of them, Youngstown. And I could tell it now because it's no longer going on. But he transitioned from being one of the biggest dope dealers into being one of the biggest entrepreneurs and a longshoreman here in Los Angeles, which is working for the port for 20 years. And I got to see him go from the hood to the hills. Wow. And it was really beautiful seeing that. I mean, Shannon, we would come home days when he was in his gangster era, and I couldn't have a key to the house. I couldn't be there alone. And he would have to go in the house with a pistol first and check everything to make sure we can go in. I had the password to the safe that was in the garage, and so that if anybody came in, give them everything, don't let them hold you hostage or do any of that. So I grew up a product of a street guy, a straight gangster who didn't play about me, who if I made a phone call, he was going to air it out. And that was a luxury for me. And so I was on Sway's radio one time, and he said, Doc, you talk about your upbringing and your father and being the little girl from the inner city as though it was like an honor. You don't talk about it in a way that's like, I came from the hood, and it was all this adversity. It was adversity. But I'm a proud little girl from the hood, and I'm a proud product of a father who was a street daddy. Right. I'm a proud product of a mother who, also was in the streets with him. And if it wasn't for me being a product of them, I wouldn't know how to create the peace and the tools that I have now to provide to my clients, to your viewers, to everyone else who follows me, because I wouldn't have had to bear crawl to understand how to get out this thing called the inner city. Wow. And I always say it wasn't me knowing where I was going. It was me knowing that I had to get the hell out of there. Right. And oftentimes I think of all ages, people get stuck in, I don't know where I'm going. What's my purpose? All you really need to know, Shannon, is that I don't want to fucking be here. I don't want to be here. And that day that I realized that, I put my track shoes on, even though people see heels every day now, and my track shoes are still on. I'm never taking them off. Right. And I ran as far as I could. I ran into 6 degrees, 3 doctorates, a master's degree, a house at 19, my first home, a daycare at 19, 3 retail stores on Merrill's.
Damn, you were the professional student.
But I was a professional student for a long time and entrepreneur. But I really want people to know, and I know we're early on in the interview, but I want people to know who are watching that you do not have to know where you are going. You just have to know you want to get the hell up out of whatever you're in, whether it's a relationship, a circumstance, an environment, just go. And when you start to trust God, he does something really special, which is ordering your steps. And as he orders your steps and you stay vertical in who you are and you lean on him and all your understanding, you nest in that word and you call him out on his principles that are in the Bible that he promises you, I'm telling you, God shows up and he shows out. And he does give you back the time that the locusts and the cankerworms took from you. He really does give that back to you. So I want folks watching this to know that, listen, I was just a little girl in the hood, and I promise you, there was nothing around me. Not to put the people down around me, there was nothing in my environment that I looked at and said I want to be. There was everything in my environment that said, hell no, and hell no. And those hell no's got me to all my yeses. So I just want people to know that early on, because people look at me or yous and they're like, they're way over there. I'm not way over there for people. Right. I'm still touchable. I'm still that little girl in the hood. Wow. I just happen to grow up and make different decisions now. Right. But I'm still her. And I never, ever will not claim her. I never will not allow her to show up in a conversation and not allow her to be in her abandonment sometimes. And I will always make sure she knows you can feel that way as a little girl. The woman in me, I have your back. And I'll knock everything off this table for you every time. That's what self-love is. And I want people, men and women, to know that, especially within our community, because it's important that they see our wounds, not just the healed Dr. Bryant, because that's not where it started.
So you made a conscious decision that I'm not going to be a product of my environment, and I'm not going to be my circumstances in which I'm currently in. You made that decision at a very, very young age that, you know what? Yes, this is my environment. I don't really see anybody that I aspire to be like. Yeah. So let me get the hell out of here and find some people that I do aspire to be like.
There you go. And I'm the oldest of 7.
Oh, so that's why.
And I'm the first grandchild. So there was nobody ahead of me, Shannon, to say this is the blueprint. It was just folks around me to show me what not to do. And I say this about a lot of folks who are PCs, pastor kids, right? Or they got parents who've been married 30, 40 years. Right. And the marriage is rocking and rolling. Oftentimes, those kids are robbed of seeing all of the fake perfection, and not seeing what not to do. So they usually come out that household and they're extremely rebellious, and they end up doing the total opposite of what their parents did. And I say this, because I love Cam. Me and Cam, we are great friends. Cam has thanked me for a lot of the impact, positive impact I've had on him.
Cam Newton or Cam Newton?
Cam Newton. Cam Newton.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you say Cam.
I know,
okay.
Cam Newton. Let's clear it up, Cam Newton. But I say, and I want to say, Cam is a perfect example of what I just described. He is a pastor's child.
Yes.
His parents are still married.
Yes.
He comes from good stock.
Yes.
And we're not saying that Cam ain't good stock,
Right.
but his decisions are not good stock.
Okay.
So just want to show people the example of what I'm referring to. Then you get a little girl like me from the inner city, and parents are teenage parents. We got a lot of trauma and different drug dealing and drug addiction and things going on and trauma in the house. And I had the luxury of seeing what not to do. And I just knew if I did the opposite, it had to be better than that. And it ended up being way better than that.
Now it makes sense to me why your dad was so inept. You're the oldest. You're the girl. You're the oldest. You was daddy's girl.
Daddy's girl. Yeah.
It makes perfect sense now because you adore. Just listening at you talk in the first 10 minutes. Your dad is your world. You adore him.
I adore him.
And we're gonna get into this because all these advanced degrees that you have. You were good in school?
I was good in school, but I was very you got me up.
Oh, no, there you go.
I was very good in school, but I was
You
very
fight the
like,
power, huh?
you're not gonna talk to me anyway. You're not gonna disrespect me. And one thing my parents did, and I say my parents are my mother and father, Kim and Darren, and my grandparents, Mariah and Bailey, because all four of them was the village that raised me. One of the many things they did amazing was they raised a little girl with a lot of self-love and a hell of a backbone. I'm very vertical. And so I stand very strong on respect and on boundaries. That wasn't something I was lacking. But when those boundaries were crossed, when it came to, K through 12 academia was amazing. But I was one that I got kicked out of LA Unified School District, and I had to go
What'd you do?
district permit to Long Beach Unified School District. I was just not going to tolerate no BS. And so if that meant that I had to strong arm or use muscle, whether it be verbally or physical, then I was going to make sure that they understood that this is a tree you don't bark up. And
Looking like this? Because normally when we came up, women like that had this complexion like this. And
What do we do?
They were like, oh, I'm not going to even entertain this.
So listen. I think I brought the entertainment, the production, the cameras, and I edited it just the way I wanted it to be edited. Yes.
You about that life, Doc?
But also you have to remember that I was a little girl who had the privilege of being able to make one phone call.
They were scared. You see, you had them scared of your dad.
But I had
wasn't all you.
I had that muscle too, and I got to give my father and my family props because we were the family that would, they would pull up and they would be very, very protective over me. My father has done many things that has protected me. He's ran into clubs. He's done a lot of things on behalf of me, alongside my grandmother, my mother. They're a very protective family.
You ain't gonna never get no man.
Well, listen, my father passed away 2 years
Oh,
ago.
okay, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So being that,
Yeah.
I might get
You
a
might
man
get one now.
because to your point, he used to be like, ain't nobody coming around,
No.
and he used to say, and he gave me a ring when I was a teenager. Funny you said that, and it was his pinky ring, which is a big ring with a lot of diamonds, and said, put this on your finger, and until a man gives you a ring, don't take it off. Well, I've had 2 rings,
Right.
but he also wasn't too fond of me being married because he would say, baby, successful women don't have to get married. I'm like, Daddy, no, I want to be a mother and a wife.
Right.
So it's going to happen on my watch, your watch, everybody watch.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It's the holiday season, the best time of year for sports. Bowl games, basketball matchup, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which games to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. Prize Picks, baby. We're in the thick of football season, and some of y'all might be feeling downright sick. But don't worry, that's why we have Prize Picks to keep you going for the rest of the season. Week 13 of football, Thanksgiving football did not disappoint. Dak, CD, more. Cowboys are heating up at the right time. And the Bills and the Steelers, man, Josh Allen looked good. That running game, right on time. New feature alert, Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Download the Prize Pick app today. Use code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. You mentioned that you teenage parents,
Yeah.
and your father sold drugs, and I think your mom became addicted to drugs.
My mom was addicted to the drug that my father sold at the same time.
How did that work?
How did it work? You mean for them or for me, the little girl trying to process
I'm
through
talking
that?
like
It's two
if I'm
different
selling
angles.
and the person that I care about that I conceive the child with, I'm gonna do everything I can not to let her get a hold of it, and I definitely don't want to see my baby see her mommy in this condition, and knowing I'm the supplier, I'm part of the reason why.
Wow, I love that you said that. You're so on point. He went and put out a flute on the street and said, if anyone sells to her, then
Got to deal with me.
got to deal with me. And after he seen that he couldn't control or take everybody out, right? At some point, from what he told me, he had to put his hands up, and he had to just let life take its form. And the beautiful thing is that at some point before he passed away, thank God, my mother ended up being, she got some health conditions that handicapped her where she couldn't pick her arms up and she couldn't even move or walk. And it was in her addiction. And I remember her calling me saying, baby, I can't lift my hands. And I'm like, huh? And so we spent years of having her go to different specialists and seeing what they can do. And finally, my good friend, Dr. Ursno Romo, he said she needs surgery, or she has a degenerated disc disease. It's never going to get better. So anyway, she had surgery. When I tell you that God keeps his promises, and he does hear your prayers. And the funny thing is, Shannon, all my life I prayed for her to be off drugs, to be off drugs, to be off drugs. When I finally told God, you know what, I no longer can pray that because it's starting to consume me. I'm going to let you have her. Now, I'm going to pay bills, and I'm going to feed her, so I'm going to always take care of my mother. But as far as her trajectory of her life, I got a hands off.
That's in your hands
Hands
now.
off. That's when her health condition came upon her. And he broke her down to where she couldn't even move. And after her surgery, she came home and it was just her and I, and she had a bag that she had to use the bathroom in. She couldn't get up. I mean, nothing. It was an 8-hour surgery. And they removed all of her discs, and it was just so intense. She ain't touched a drug ever since then. She is now the vice president of my company. She has her own healthcare company where she helps people who are disabled like herself. That is her company, her business that she started. She cooks and cleans and runs my entire household. I bought the house. She makes it a home. And so when I tell you again that God will give you back the time that the locusts and the cake and worms took, I am not playing. But the key to him doing that is your obedience to him. And the Bible says it's better to be obedient than sacrifice. And I was obedient to his word, and I never wavered in well doing, even with the adversity that was going on with my mom being on that. When I turned her over to him, God showed me the power of surrender. And from that day, my mom has been sober. She has been the best mother that me and my brother can ever ask for. She does everything she's never done as a child. And to this day, I still look at her sometimes across the room, I'm like, she is really like
A 180.
sober and a mom.
Wow.
And it's natural, and she's doing this, and we're here. And, that's something that when someone's in addiction for 20, 25 years,
It's long. That's hard habit to break.
you don't break it. They usually die.
Yeah.
At the hands of that substance. So just always wanting to give God that glory. But I want people to know that God's promises are always sitting right there available for you. And I'm telling you, what breaks that promise open is our obedience and our trust and our faith in him. That's all we need. He don't ask for much. And faith isn't something that we know. Faith is an action word. Belief is an action word. It is keeping your commitment to God, doing what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it. Also saying, God, and this is my affirmation to this day, I said, God, I don't know what's going on, but I know that I trust you. As long as I can trust you, I can nest in you, then I know that I'm good. And so I show up to whatever GPS God gives me, and I say, but I showed up. And when I tell you, he always does everything in the perfect position and in the perfect alignment when you just show up. See, people think they got to know everything. If I know everything, or if I don't know everything, I should say, then I can't show up. I don't know how to do it. But what does God say? That I am.
But if you know
your strength when
everything,
you're
that's
weak.
not faith.
And that's
Faith
not
is
God.
believing in the unknown. That you're going to take this leap and know that everything's going to be okay.
And faith is a spirit thing. It's not an ego thing. Faith is I know like I know like I know. It's not I think. And it's also you saying that I understand that if God is closer than my breath, then he can't be outside of me. So that's why he says, I never leave you or forsake you, because he can't. And I want to wrap on this. He also says, if you make your bed in hell, there I am. That means that God allows you to have your free will because he loves you. But if your free will happens to be in hell, he's not going to stop you, but he'll be in there with you, which means all you got to do is tap him because he's there. Ask. And then he'll shift you. But how many of us are not willing to shift? Because we get so stuck in the dysfunction that we know, the dysfunctional relationships, the dysfunctional part of ourself that we know, that the shift becomes so scary, that the better is something that is uncertain. So we don't go to the better. We stay with what we know. And God says, well, I'll stay with you. But the Bible says, what reports will you believe? Will you believe the reports of your dysfunction, your trauma, you're not good enough, you're not qualified, that you are the things you've been through, you are the things that you see in your environment? Or will you believe the reports that I told you, that I'm the big dog, I'm the alpha, the omega, I'm omnipresent, that I know the plans I have for you when I formed you in the belly, and then plans were to prosper you, give you a good life, not to harm you. So whenever you are in harm, you're not in what? My plans. So how do you know when you're not in God's alignment? Is when it's you in harm. When it's not prosperous. Because he also says, think only on these thoughts that are prosperous, positive, and praiseworthy. The reason why he tells you that is because as a man thinketh,
so be it.
Come on, baby. So he's telling you what to think. So when you think on those thoughts, hold on, so are you. So the man that says he is and the man that says he is not are what? Both right. So God said, what reports will you believe? And I love you so much, I'll let you believe them. And even if you believe yourself in hell, I'm going to ride with you in there. There ain't a human that could ride like that. And this is why I tell people, I'm not here to be liked. I got a purpose. And my obedience is to God, not to y'all. Because as long as I'm obedient to God, we riding in his will. But the moment that I fall prey to dogma or being obedient to your thoughts or what you think or what you need, now I'm in your will. And the only thing that had Peter, who was walking on water to Jesus, depart and fall was because he took his eyes off the wheel. And really quick, I got to say this because Peter called Jesus out. How many of us call God out? I'm asking for this. If it's really you, God, show up. Peter said, Jesus, if it's you and you real, call on me to walk on this water. Jesus said, I'm that dude, what's up? Peter got off his boat, walked on water, and Jesus said, all you got to do is keep your eyes on me. Because I'm the one you called. I'm the one that's blessing you.
He looked down,
but you know why he looked down? Because a storm came. A storm. How many of us have been in storms that have us lose our faith, lose our walk, lose our goal, lose our focus?
Most of the time,
storm.
You know why? Because most of the time, that's the only time we really call on God is when we're in trouble. Like when we're prosperous, we're ascending to the top. We don't need him. We need him when, dang. Lost my job, I lost this, I didn't get this promotion, things happen in my life, I'll call on him now. But when things was going good, you thought it was all you. You didn't know he was right there with you the whole while. You was riding shotgun, he was driving, but you didn't realize that.
And when you called on him, like Peter called on Jesus, when the storm came again, why did you take your eyes off of who already saved you from the last storm and the last storm and the last storm? This is why I say the only person I have to focus on is my God. The only person I'm obedient to is my God. It don't matter who don't like me. No one has to like me. I'm vertical in the God that's in me. Nothing else has to make sense for me because I'm not here for it to make sense. I'm here to do what? Trust him in all my ways and acknowledge him first.
Congratulations on your mom being sober. But let me ask you this.
Thank you.
Now, y'all know your favorite unc, but I'm also a last-minute shopper. I'm talking about the guy that's sprinting through the mall on Christmas Eve like it's the fourth quarter, we're down by 6, and we got to have it. Shelves empty, ideas gone, stress through the roof. But this year, I've learned my lesson. I found a last-minute lifesaver, Aura Frames. Every year, that one person that I struggle to shop for me, it's my brother. He's got everything, and if he doesn't already own it, he'll just go buy it before I can get it wrapped and shipped to him. But this year, he's getting Aura Frame because it feels personal, it feels thoughtful, and it ain't something he can beat me to. Here's why Aura is clutch. First off, all I got to do is download the Aura app, connect the frame to Wi-Fi, and boom, I can upload unlimited photos and videos. And the best part, I can preload everything before it even ships. So when my brother opens that box, he's already got a whole highlight reel of family memories waiting on him. And let me tell you, Aura doesn't skimp. It comes in a premium gift box, no price tag, and it looks like it's planned out weeks ago. You can't wrap togetherness, but you can frame it. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code Shay at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Shay. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning Club Shay at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. You say you're the oldest of 7, correct? Mm-hmm. Your dad has 6 kids with 5 different women.
Oh, you done did your homework, baby.
With that being said, and we know how you view your dad, when you found out that you had other siblings, how did that make you feel?
I love that. So when my father went to have my first little sister, Ginger, I said, and I was only 10, and I said, Dad, why would you have another child? And I said, it better not be a girl.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And he said, well, baby, it's a girl.
It's a girl.
And things happen, right? Because I'm 10. And I said, well, I don't like her. I'm not happy.
You ain't even met her yet.
And I won't be her sister, right? At 10 years old.
Yeah.
My little sister Ginger came out to love and worship the ground I walk on. And it took me, and this is something that I just have to be transparent about, it took me until I was early 20s to have a sit down with my sister Ginger, who is my baby now, and say, I'm sorry. I didn't accept you. It had nothing to do with you. But I love you. You're my sister. I rock with you. You mine. And so from my father, it was an issue. But what saved him and me was he kept having kids. So what I realized was, anyone can replace the baby. You just got to have another baby. But guess what person can never be replaced? You can never have another firstborn.
Nope.
Ever. So when God told me, listen, I put you in the firstborn order, so you ain't got to worry about being replaced. Whoever's next got to worry about being replaced. I said, you know what? I'm good with that. And my father and I, not that he doesn't love all of his kids. They know he does, but they also know I grew up with him. I grew up in his gangster era. I grew up in his dope dealing era. I watched him transition from being bullhead in the streets to being Darren, the family working man. And he always tells me, no one else got that opportunity. I witnessed him, being shot. I witnessed him just so much. And it's like, I had the opportunity to see in the transition that they didn't get. And not that, they were robbed, because it was tough times. They actually probably had a luxury of not seeing it, but it gave me a different oomph in me that we all have, but that makes me the most like my father. And yeah, we have a special bond. We really adore each other, and he dotes on me. He would tell me, you the Kobe Bryant, you're the Michael Jordan of the women. And, to all the fathers out there, that is so important.
Yes.
If you have daughters, a woman is what her daddy makes her. Straight up, especially when it comes to men. And she can easily be manipulated if you're a man who doesn't input the things in her that allow her to see red flags. My father would have real one-on-one conversations with me. He talked to me like his baby, but he also would say, do X, Y, and Z. And it would be and I like that because he talked to me straight up.
Right.
And he would explain to me that, men use money to run power like this, or men may say these things that mean this. And so I had this open relationship where I would.
So you had the playbook.
I had the playbook. And I can come to him and say, Dad, this is what's happening in my relationship. What does this mean? Even if it was sexual. Now, if it was sexual, he loved Jack and Coke. He said, baby, let me get my Jack and my Coke before we have that conversation. But he was very open to those conversations. But I want men to know that a woman is what her daddy makes her. And so it is your responsibility to build that woman up so that when she's out there, she has a realistic expectation of a man, not a fairy tale ideology. Because I ended up, to what you said earlier about, you're never going to have a man. I ended up with a fairy tale ideology that I had to work through and process and unpack, because I expected men to be this fairy tale that my father was. He was this knight shining armor. You call him, he's there. He bought me my first car. We're in Vegas, and he was a drug guy. So we're in Vegas and I'm 16. He's giving me thousands and thousands to gamble, to spend. And that was reality for that type of guy. But my dad also told me, if a man looks like me, smells like me, or acts like me, run. Do not bring him home and do not date him. So he never glamorized being a womanizer. He never glamorized having 6x5 women. He told me, this is what daddy did, but I don't want this for you. And there's too many men who do those things. And because they are too egocentric, right? Versus caring about their daughters, that they would glamorize their behavior so their daughters won't look at them in a certain way. But you are tearing her up because now she thinks that the right chosen person looks and acts like you. So when she brings you home, that's your problem. But my father told me from the beginning, it's a hard no. And when I did attempt to date, because I really never dated street guys, probably because he raised me like that.
Right.
I dated more like athletes when I was in like a college athlete or some of that sort, or just a really good boy next door.
God, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just.
See, I told y'all he not messy, but he crafty. I told y'all that. See. But when I first tried to date my first little street guy, my dad didn't even. He said, "Let me see a picture." He said, "What do you do?" I said, "He does real estate." He said, just like he said, "That don't do real estate." I said, He don't. And my dad called me every day, I'm not lying, for 7 days to tell me to get rid of that man because one of them gonna end up dead or in jail. So guess what?
You got rid
of him. The right thing to do.
Yeah. You said your dad said that if he ever got married, the wife would become before the kids.
He said the opposite.
The kids come first?
And I disagreed with him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I disagreed.
Absolutely.
We had literally almost a 2-hour debate. Me and my father would debate a lot. We have almost identical personalities.
Okay.
And he would never tuck his tail to anybody. I'm like the only person he'd tuck and say, "Baby, listen, if we got to agree to disagree, then that's fine." Or "Daddy's not trying to say nothing that's going to upset you." Baby, we saying the same thing. We saying because he's just trying to be daddy and not hurt me. But anybody else, it would have been... just...
It is what it is, so move on.
Would have been war.
Yeah.
But we had a long conversation. He told me, because I had a fiance at the time who actually had 2 beautiful girls, and he was putting me before his adult daughters.
Yes.
And that's the right hierarchy.
Yes.
And my father said, he can do that in your household, but the woman in my house would never come ever before my kids. And I said, "Daddy, I don't agree, and I'm your daughter.
Right.
I don't agree in that hierarchy." He said, "You don't have to agree with what I do in my household, but when y'all come here, a woman will never come before my girls ever." And so, but again, that's also a man who has 6 kids by 5 different women.
Right.
And I love my father, as y'all can see, but I'm also a realist. A man who can procreate with multiple women and not make a family with none of them or only one of them, that says a lot about his lack of respect for women in general.
Okay.
So I would have never expected my father to say that he respects a woman who he's romantic with so much that she would come before his kids. Because obviously the respect level for women was limited from the jump in order for you to be able to do things in that nature. And that's for any man, including my father.
You think that's a respect thing?
Yeah.
A man that he lacks respect for women. If he lays down and have kids with multiple women, he doesn't respect them. Is that what?
Yes, and in addition to that, he doesn't respect himself. And I also think that he lacks self-love. Any man who will lay with a woman unprotected, right? Let's not just talk about obviously procreating that can happen. We're talking about health-wise diseases that can happen. He lacks.
What if he protected himself? Would it be better?
Now this is my thing. I do agree. I think that it's not about what we do, it's how we do it.
Okay.
So if a man wants to be a man who is very honest and transparent about, look, I'm just trying to be intimate. I'm in my intimate season.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to have sex and have a good time, but we're going to do it safe. We're going to get tested and use protection, and no one's getting pregnant. And I'm telling you out in the front, there is nothing wrong with a transparent man who women are signing up to, or a transparent woman that men are going to sign up to be in alignment with.
Okay.
Nothing at all.
Okay.
I'm talking about a man who is sleeping with the woman and the woman who's sleeping with the man, and both are unprotected. It ain't just the man's accountability.
Place of protection,
the woman is accountable as well.
Okay.
And now you have multiple families and multiple homes that are broken. We have an issue here. That is a bad decision-making crisis in our community. And it's also people who are living in this very present world of, they're so used to dysfunction, and it's become a pathology within our community that is the norm and their baseline of what they do.
Right.
And so doing anything outside of that is not just only unknown, but it's not even a norm that they know how to create.
Okay.
That's the part that makes it sad to me.
You held your father in such high regard. How was it? How were you able to shift and says, you know what, I love my dad, but I don't love him enough to have a partner like my dad?
Love that. My dad is a hell of a father. He is not a good man to his women. My dad is a womanizer, but he is a hell of a father. I truly believe that the womanizer in him, and him being able to take his ego out of it when it comes to his relationship with his kids and not glamorize his bad behavior is what made him such an amazing father.
Okay.
Because he's able to say, I know what I do to women. So let me teach you what it looks like so you don't run into the same type of joker. And my father never put himself on a pedestal about the decisions that he was making. When I got with my ex-fiance who had 2 beautiful girls, right, by 2 different women, my father said, who took great care of me. I was a kept woman. The man was a great guy. My father said, let me explain something to you, baby, when we got engaged. He said, you told me since you can even speak that you never want a man who has multiple kids with multiple women, that you never want a man who is a man like daddy is. He said, what makes that man different? Because it's 2 and not 5? And I said, you know what? You onto something. You're onto something. You're right. It doesn't make a difference. He still is a man who has multiple kids by multiple women. But even in that, my father didn't say, well, it's okay because I got multiple kids.
Right.
You know, some guys like that could be good men. He said, you told me as my daughter, you didn't want that. So even as a father who is doing the same thing, if I have to put myself in a bad light for you to have what's right, then so be it. That is what parenting is about, Shannon. Parenting is about, I remove myself from this for the betterment of you. That is what love is. Not if I tell you, Shannon, don't get a woman who's of age like me, who's a doctor, who don't want a man with kids. Don't get a woman like me. I don't want to tell you that because if I tell you that, then what? It makes me look bad. No, if I love you, that means I use anything I have to help you get in a better position and do what's best for you. That's what parenting is about.
It's funny that you say that. Why can women have choices but men can't? Women can say, I don't want a man to have kids. I want this, I want that. I want a man that makes 6, 7 figures. I want him to be educated. I want him to be God-fearing. I want him to be able to be world travel. Yeah. But a man can't say, well, I want a woman that's 5'7". I want a woman that has long natural hair. I want her to be of this complexion. I want her to be shaped like this. Why can't men say what we want, but women can say what they want?
Let's add one more thing because I feel like we're deflecting from one more thing.
Okay.
We want her to be this race. We want her to be this type. Let's keep it real. We're not going to deflect from nothing.
What thing?
There's black men who only date non-black women.
Okay.
We don't have to say white women, just say non-black. Because there's black men who only date Latina women, but not white women. There are white men who only have a thing for black women.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a preference. I don't think a man saying, I am only attracted to, or I have only been attracted to this type of woman means that he doesn't love or respect these other kind of women. Now, on the flip side, a man who says, I am turned off and do not like black women, so I date non-black women.
Right.
He has mommy issues.
Okay.
He has an identity crisis because you came from the woman you're saying you dislike. So now we have a deeper rooted issue. I'm not saying that a brother who only dates outside of black women cannot also have mommy issues. But if that's just his preference, then that's different than saying I don't date because my experience was bad. I don't date because I don't like the way black women show up. I don't date because I don't like the way black women are strong or they talk too much. And I'm not saying those things ain't true for a lot of us, okay?
Yes.
But what I'm saying is everyone has the right to have their preference. But I do believe that people need to look deep down and say, why is that your preference? Take inventory on that. I know my preference of a man with no kids is because growing up as a little girl, I had to share my father with 6 other siblings.
You want undivided attention.
And I'm not sharing another man in my life.
Damn!
And I'm also not going to put my children in a position to have to share their father with anybody else at all. And I'm going to go even deeper. When my father passed away, which I'm happy my dad did, it's so perfect, right? His life insurance when split up amongst his babies.
Yeah.
Now, I love that because I love my babies. I'm the oldest of 7. Those are all my babies, okay? And if he would have gave it all to me, I would have split it with everybody anyway.
Right.
But I'm happy he did it on his own. But my point in saying that is when a man or a woman gets with somebody who has other offsprings and kids, you have to not only think about the relationship presently, but also in the exit strategy. So my kids do have to split things. My kids are being born into a deficit because guess what? You won't be able to be present every day with my child if you are going to be a father to those children. And when Christmas comes or holidays come or school comes or God forbid something happens to your other children, like an emergency, what if our kids have an emergency at the same time? Who do you choose? What happens? Do I show up as a single mother in that moment because dad has to be here? How do I explain that to our babies? And why do I have to? And I won't have to if I choose a man who I know can be present. Because being present is being in my house, in our children's home. Taking them to school, waking up in the morning, them seeing you with the good morning. Our son being able to watch how you process your emotions as a man. Watch how you interact with me as a man. Watch how you sit with your legs like that. Watch how when the game is on, you sit and watch it in a certain statue. Watch how you yell at the TV the way you do what you do. I yell at the TV when I watch football, and I am a football head because my grandfather and my father were football men. So we would sit and watch football nonstop. I'm calling pick six all day. I'm calling flag on the play. PI, come on, ref. That's me.
Right.
Other women don't watch it like that.
Correct.
Because how did I learn it? By watching the men in my house. By being the only girl for so long.
Kids are very observant.
So my thing is, and I'll wrap on this, is it's not that people with kids, multiple folks, are doomed. Mm-hmm. It's a different way that they have to parent. Okay. And whether you parent perfectly, not perfectly, but you parent at your best or not, those kids are still going to be in a deficit. And I want to say this part too, because a present parent can also present trauma. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to make it seem like because if you're in the household, you're not presenting trauma. Because it's also sometimes a parent or a couple that decides not being together will create a more peaceful, healthy environment for the kids and us is the better decision. Yes. So I'm not condoning or advocating for people to stay together in traumatized out, dysfunctional, abusive relationships where they're creating now not just a broken home, but a broken family, because they're two different things, right? I'm saying you got to do what's best. But if you make decisions at the very beginning that are good, then you are able to date better, marry better, parent better, and you do get kids, even if they choose to detour off, like the Bible says, who have the tools to be better. And that's all that I'm pushing for our community. I'm not pushing that people who are baby mamas or baby daddies to beat themselves up and say they're doomed. That's not what it is. But what I am saying, damn it, is now today, make a better decision.
Right.
Do something different. Show your kids that there's a different way to do it. And, let's teach folks to get out there and figure out the sense of self. So our divorce rate isn't so high. Mm-hmm. And let's figure out, Shannon, how we can do more than just make good love and have a drink together. Like, how come we can't have better conversations together? We don't have to be romantic to have good, intellectual, emotionally intelligent conversations. We don't have to have gender wars because we don't agree on a topic.
You believe men and women can have a friendship. Steve Harvey said he ain't got no women friend.
And he shouldn't.
But
he's married.
Like me, you're not married, I'm not married.
Get me on this conversation, Shannon.
I'm just saying. So you believe men and women can have a true platonic, let's meet here, let's go get a drink, let's go get a bite to eat, and it stays that. Because a lot of people's like, oh, he's just waiting for his opportunity. He's just waiting for you at a moment of weakness and something went wrong in your other relationship, and he got that big shoulder for you to cry on, and next thing you know, voila.
I had a best friend of 24 years. He was there through both engagements. He was going to be in both weddings. And as soon as that second engagement was off, he said, have you found someone new?
I do it.
Hold on, Shannon. I said no. We were friends since we were 14. I said, no, I haven't. He said, well, why don't we try it? I said, I know you too well. Listen to this. So I could never be in a relationship with you. He had no kids. He does well. Ooh. Attorney. All those things.
Perfect.
I had no kids.
That's you.
Well.
That's you.
Me.
That's you.
Cheyenne,
that's
me.
Got it.
That was me.
My man been hiding in plain sight. Right here in front of me.
Right here. Okay, so I say we can probably be homie, lover, friends, and be intimate because I've known you for so long, so I feel very safe with being intimate with you. And he says, if I can't have you in every way and marry you, I won't touch your body. So I said, okay, well, let's try this dating thing. We tried the dating thing. Exactly what I told him was right. Sex was fire. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing, Shannon. The relationship?
What was wrong?
Everything that he did in all of his previous relationships, he started to do in ours.
He brought it back.
Because people are who they. This is another thing. People don't change. We shift. We learn how to manage the things in us that we don't like or that we learn don't serve us. So if lying never served nobody, that person is still a liar who has to manage the behavior of not lying. No different than an addict. A person who was addicted to porn is managing, no longer looking at porn. Management could look like this. They won't go in the environment of maybe a strip club. They will not go in an environment where there's a porn on television. Same thing for alcoholics, right? They try their best to not go around it as much as possible. There's a lot of willpower that takes, a lot of managing. You don't wake up in the next day or go through 6 months or a year of therapy, Shannon, and you are no longer built the way you are biologically. You no longer think the way you think. You no longer have the appetite that you used to have. Do we grow out of some things naturally? Yes. But evolving and growing out of something is very different than saying, now that I'm with you, I want to stop smoking cigarettes. Now that I'm with you, I no longer want to watch porn. You're managing yourself. So there's only a matter of a time before who you don't like about me shows up in this relationship. So I always ask people this. Instead of finding people that you have to change for or that you want to change for you, find somebody who's conducive to the shit you got going on. Meaning, if you are in your dysfunctional era, I'm serious, you find someone who your dysfunction does not create dysfunction in them. Your dysfunction may be something that they need and they can feed in a healthy way, because that happens often. For example, people who have anxious attachment, those are the people who are just always want to be up under you, want to call you, want to attach you, want to do that, right?
What you doing? Not talking to you right now.
Watch this. Now, I'm an abandoned little girl who's grown up to be an abandoned woman.
Okay.
I have worked through a lot of my stuff. But that anxious attachment person would drive somebody who is in avoidant or even secure attachment crazy. That is system overload, way too much for them. Me, I love me a clingy man. So if my man, hold on, I'm not saying he's sitting at home not doing nothing, playing video games. I'm saying he's traveling, he's doing his work, he's doing his thing, but maybe in between work, in between sessions, in between lunch, he wants to FaceTime me or text me or baby, I miss you. And when he's done with work, he wants to get right back home to mama. I love me a man like that.
For real?
He wants to fly me out. Oh, hell yes.
You got a therapist session, you talking. So, Mr. Johnson, so how is it that Mrs. Johnson feels that you're not meeting, so forth and so on, and then you get out of that session, you got like five text messages, 3 missed calls.
Okay, so see, now you're going to obsessive. I didn't say that the person will crash out. That's different. That's somebody who's having an anxiety attack because you're not available. That's more of codependency.
Okay.
I'm saying somebody who has an attachment style where they love being plugged into their partner.
Okay.
They want to see your woman's face before me and you do this interview.
Right.
So when I walked in, you might have been saying, okay, baby, hey, Dr. Bryant just walked in, I'll call you right back.
Right.
And then you hang up and I'm like, hey, Shannon.
Yes.
That is what's healthy for me.
Okay.
But for many other people, that attachment style may not work for them. They may say, I'm too needy or that person's too needy.
Yeah.
So what I try to teach people is stop finding someone who is avoidant, right? Mm-hmm. And I want someone who's going to be attached. And now I'm telling you all day, Shannon, like, you don't call me enough.
Right.
Like, are you not into me? You know, you're not slapping my ass every time I walk by. You know, it's like you need your space downstairs in the man cave for an hour when you get home to debrief. But to me, that makes me feel a little detached from you, right? Mm-hmm. Versus finding a man who says, shit, you are my man cave. Daddy can't
Come
wait
on
to get
down
home
here.
to
Let's
you.
watch this game together.
Come on, baby. Now we talking. And while you at it, mama, bring that good shade, that good shade dark. Bring that good shade dark. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by us finding what's conducive to us, not finding the person who needs us to change and be something else, because that's also a deeper rooted issue. If I'm always attracting and choosing people who want me to change, that is an identity crisis issue. That is a lack of self-love. Something in me doesn't like myself. So I'm calibrating you who is pointing out for me what I don't like that I need to change. And I'm making you my motivating factor to change, when if I don't like that about myself, shouldn't that be an inside job?
Right.
Shouldn't I sit with me first and say, these are the things I don't like about me. Let me lose the weight. Let me have better self-care. Let me tailor down on my smart mouth, or whatever it is I feel I need to do. Why do I need to choose you to tell me I need to change and me be motivated by you? That's codependency. That's unhealthy.
Okay.
So people, listen, get a sense of self and then find somebody who's conducive to who you are. Because no one's ever going to be perfect. We all going to be broken when we meet whoever we meet. And there's no such thing as a fully healed person. So all this wait till you heal to find somebody, you're going to be waiting forever. And what happens is, while you are trying to isolate to heal, you are also unlearning how to socialize. You are also deadening your chemistry muscle. So when you go back out the house 6 months, 5 years, however long y'all trying to isolate, then you're going, I'm socially awkward. How come I can't connect with people? How come there's no chemistry with
Right.
anybody? Well, you ain't used it. So you
The
lost
computer
it.
hadn't been updated.
There you go. So it's about having healthy distractions. I'm going to heal for 2 hours a day and meditate and take self-inventory and do my therapy. But then Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 o'clock, I have to get out and socialize. I have to get out and meet people who are celebrating me. I have to get out and create a circle of wealth who are pouring into me so I have a balance of healing and also a norm that's going to allow me to be me and be around people and socialize and meet someone who I can possibly be conducive with, who I don't have to look forward to be my motivator to change and be a better me. Being better comes from the inside. A woman will never make a man a better man. Y'all gonna change when you want to. As you see, like in my father's words, a nigga gonna be a nigga. A womanizer is gonna be a womanizer. A woman will become a product of your environment. Offset and Cardi B is a perfect example. Cardi B came into it. She had no kids. She was in her career. She's going diamond and platinum with her records. No kids. Offset had how many? By how many?
I think you had a couple.
So who became a product of whose environment? Cardi now has 2 by 2. My theory, proven right again. She has 2 by 2. So she's a product of his environment. I'm just saying what it is. Because a man who's going to marry is a man who's going to what? Marry.
Right.
He's looking for marriage. But a man who's just looking for ass is what? He's looking for ass. It don't matter if he runs into Dr. Bryant. People in general, especially women, have to stop being so arrogant to think that anything we got
They
from
gotta
a
be good
face
to
to
check.
a walk to a drop to anything can take a man and make him what he's not. We ain't build him. We ain't never made y'all. And we will never change y'all. Only thing we can do is choose y'all and say, if this man never changes this right here, I will love everything about this man exactly how he is. But we don't do that. I do now. But most women don't. We go, I like 25, 35%. I think that's 65%. Once he meets me, makes love to me, see I can cook and I can clean and I can do these other things and
You
my
cook?
knees is good and I do cook, yeah. But the
Oxtail?
maid cleans.
Collard greens?
I'll cook it for you, but
Cornbread?
listen, but I don't eat red meat. But I'll cook it for my man,
Neck
but I don't eat
bone?
red meat. But
Oh, dang. You do
yeah,
all that?
all that.
Mac and cheese?
But
Bake?
guess what?
What that?
That ain't gonna change who you are. That's not gonna change the type of man you are.
I don't even
Before
want to
you-
go out no more. Lose my number, homeboy. Don't ever call me again. I'm happy here.
There you go.
Let me ask you this, because it seems like in today's time, dog, when I was coming up and was
Wait, this is so good. I don't even drink. This is so good.
thank you.
Shoot, I'm about to come up with a Shay, a
We gonna-
Dr. B something. This is good.
When I was coming up, it like the ladies wanted you to call them, and you just couldn't call. Like now, if you talk to the person once a week, they cool. If you
Who's they? Okay, the other one.
yeah.
Don't call me once a week. Call me all. Listen, I said, love me.
At least once a day.
Love me like this. Do not love me like that. Literally and figuratively. Love me
Dang,
like
dog, you-
this.
Man, y'all
You
see-
got to love me up close.
Doc on demon time.
Call demon time. See, this is what this
You
dark
see
do.
what happened?
This is what the dark
It didn't
do.
take long.
Love me up close. But but I want you to finish your question because healthy people know how to love.
Okay.
Healthy people don't have to love you at a distance
Okay.
because a distance means that I'm putting barriers in front of us.
Yes.
So if I am not afraid of love, then why am I not loving all the way like this? Why am I not loving like this? Why am I not loving like this? Why is it that I'm putting stipulations or barriers or limitations on how I love you? I was made from love. My parents loved the shit out of me. My mom still treats me like I'm 4. My dad still opened my door at the age of 38 when he would
Right.
take me to dinner.
Right.
So I am a love bug. So I don't need you to love me from a distance because you are starving me of the love that we could both be having if you didn't have issues with love. Because when you think of love, Shannon, you think of love as limitations.
No, it's limitless.
So then why is there a amount on how many calls or texts I can give or get from you a day? Why is it that, too much time is too much time to be spent? if we really love and like each other,
Right.
how come I can't just miss you while I'm in your presence? How come I can't just have made love to you, laid up under you, and want to lean over and still smell you again? What is wrong with that?
Nothing.
How come I can't make love to you, been with you for 4 days straight, we done made love 4 or 5 times already, and then say, Daddy, I miss you?
Really?
That's not obsessive. That's healthy love.
That happened in today's time?
That's how I love shit. It's healthy love. And that's why I can't just be giving my loving to anybody because
you have that kind of personality.
I'm a gallon. There's
You
people
pour-
who are pints.
Okay.
Gallons have to be careful of pints, and pints have to be careful. No one's better. It's just different bandwidth.
Right.
My love is this. So if a pint pours everything they have into me, how much is left?
You still got room.
If I pour everything into them, system overload.
Whoa.
They cannot facilitate me. This is why I said we have to find conduciveness. We have to find people who are what? Bandwidth, capacity driven. We got to stop looking at this dude got a contract for $100 million so that contract could pay these bills. But then after you get these kids and you see that the trainer that you've been training with, who possibly can't pay all the bills, has the bandwidth. I'm not saying be with the trainer. What I'm saying is you got to find the in-between where it's conducive for you.
Okay.
Because people are too driven in things that don't sustain them. And then they end up making decisions that have them doing time because they didn't take their time. That's a problem.
Is it in the relationship now, do we have too unrealistic expectations? Because I think the thing is that, and what I'm a firm believer, and the lady told me, say, Shannon, you're never going to find someone that has everything. You're not going to find someone that can cook, that has a job, that do your X, Y, and Z. Because Shannon, if she has a job, how do you expect her to be at your beck and call?
Yeah.
And then you're going to get tired if she's at your beck and call all the time. You're going to get tired of her being at your beck and call. So you're not going to find someone that has everything. Just find someone that has enough of the qualities that you want, that a few of the ones that she don't, you can survive.
Perfect. And I say this. What are your non-negotiables? Right? My non-negotiables is a man with children. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, of course, we can't be abusive. Those are the common sense.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah,
cheat.
so-
They're
yeah,
common
yeah,
sense,
yeah,
okay?
right.
No kids.
Right.
So as long as he has no kids, I go down the list. He's kind, he's loving, he has that attachment style I like. He wants to get his suitcase and live up in me. I love it, that type of thing. And he loves on me, he's faithful. I like transparency. I don't like honesty. So he's transparent.
Oh.
And so what people need to do is say,
Transparency
as
is telling you is something that you didn't even ask.
is forthcoming. Honesty is,
Yeah,
I
babe,
ask a
did it.
question
I
and then
did
you
it.
answer me. Forthcoming is, babe, let me tell you what happened to me today. Baby, I was driving home and got an email from my ex and I ain't talked to her in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Really, babe? Yes, and the email said, boom, boom, she's in town. She wants to go to lunch. I said, what'd you say, babe? I told her I'm married. And that she didn't see that on social media. I got a wife. Or I didn't respond at all, baby. Okay, and guess what? We resume our day.
Okay.
Because the fact that you're transparent, you are now depositing into our trust bank. But when I have to ask you, babe, and say you didn't respond to the email at all, you did everything right. But I happen to run through and I say, baby, you didn't tell me such and such emailed you. And you go, oh, babe, I wasn't even thinking about
I ain't
that.
even pay that no mind.
But let's say you did everything right. You
Right.
really didn't pay it no mind. Now it's not about you doing anything right. It's about, what? Why didn't you tell me? Most people say that. Now you are starting a little bit of cracks and crevices in our trust foundation when you ain't did nothing wrong. So now, of course, I'm not going to leave you for that, but now we got to work through me trying to say, baby, next time, could you tell me?
Yes.
But when you can just be forthcoming, if you know you have nothing going on, transparency is the way to build the best trust. Is, baby, look, this is what it is. And let me go, it's going to be a very unapologetic opinion, but for my players out there, for the men who trying to play, for the woman who trying to go dig, even as a player who got a little bit of game, transparency would be what you want to do. Because when you tell a woman everything that's really going on, she trusts you. Hold on. Trust creates what? Security.
Right.
What do women want?
Security. And you give her an opportunity to make a choice. Because if you deny her that.
So how many women are dealing with a married man who they know is married? And that married man has no problem with the side chick because she knows. And in her rabbit-ass mind, she says, what? Say it.
Eventually he gonna leave her and be with me.
And guess what? He a good man, Savannah, because he's honest with me. He told me he was married. I could trust him. But see, Savannah's man was married in that movie too. That's the problem. And the wife don't know about you. And even if she does, he's a womanizer. So a womanizer is going to do what? Womanize.
Right.
So when a person shows you who they are, my dad used to always say, believe them. Don't wrap them with your fairy tale ideology of what you want them to be, and then gaslight them when you see that's not who they are. So transparency is the foundation, whether you are trying to move in a good character, which I condone good character, or even if you're not. It's about the transparency piece. We all want to know that whether I like you or not, Shannon, I can trust you. I'll hire you if I could trust you.
Yes.
But I'm not going to hire this snake who does a better job than you, but I can't trust them. It's transparency.
Do we have two unrealistic expectations of what a relationship should be?
You mean on the man and women's perspective? I think so. I think the perfection thing is one, definitely. And I think that's both men and women.
Yes.
I think men want this perfect woman who does all those things you named. In today's society, what woman is not working? I mean, you do have some women that were kept. I was a kept woman. But to your point, I cooked. I cleaned. He had in-house. I never denied him. All I did was work out and run. I'm the president of NAACP here in Los Angeles, and I ran that and ran my foundation. But I didn't work. He didn't want me to work. But I also was a woman who was okay with not working and just fully submitting to him. I was okay in that position.
Would you be okay now in that position?
So I believe that I would be okay in that position if my husband said, baby, you know, once you have our kids, I want you home with them, and I don't really want you actively traveling the way you do for your career. And he was open to me still creating and producing all the shows that I produce where I don't have to be so hands-on, right? Having my Dr. Bryant Institute, which I have therapists that work for me that see clients. If he understood that what I built, which is bigger than me, it's about healing our community, is something I can still have and allow it to operate and heal folks, yes. But if he said you got to shut down all shop, when I would say, well, that doesn't make sense because this contributes to our economic household and it contributes to our legacy. And these are things that I can leave behind to our children, and also that you as my husband will fully benefit from, because this is not mine. I built this and it's ours. And so let's take it and build it together. And I don't mind hiring an office manager, a second assistant, another CEO. I could hire 4-5 more people.
Right.
But I want to make sure what I built can sustain.
It's sustainable.
But what I will say is I am 100% open to dialing down and being more available and convenient and accessible to him. Absolutely. Because I've done it before, and I love that position. Yes.
You mentioned the shows that you produce. You co-produced MTV Teen Mom Family Reunion. You was on Basketball Wives. What is it about? I remember I had a conversation with a guy. This had to be Dr. Bryant, probably in 2000. And this was the time kind of like MTV, The Real World, it was just starting to come on, Survivor. And he said that is television moving forward. I said, what do you mean? He said, reality television is going to be the wave. I said, why? He said, because it's cheap. He said, instead of paying somebody $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 an episode, and you shoot 20, 25 episodes, you can pay somebody $5,000 because everybody wants that 15 minutes. And everybody feels they'll be able to take that 15 minutes and transition into something bigger. And lo and behold, but I think reality television has done a disservice too somewhat, because they got people thinking like, come on, bro. It's not like that. It's not like that.
Yeah. And people can't most people cannot transition out of reality TV to anything else because they've exposed the parts of them that most people don't want to hire or don't want to represent their company. So for me, with Teen Mom Family Reunion, going on that show, I developed it and I co-produced it. I was an on-camera life coach, right? So my reality was my real life position.
Yes.
So I loved it. I was in my purpose. I love those teen moms and dads and families that were on there. We built great relationships, and I was able to really, really transition their lives. It was beautiful. And for people to see it on TV, Basketball Wives, I also went on there as the psychology expert.
Okay.
And it just took a different toll because those group of women were not in a position of wanting healing, which I believe the network knew that, and it's business. I get it, it's entertainment. They were more in the position of saying, well, this is our norm. What we've been doing with reality TV, we turn it up, right? So at some point, I understood that wasn't the show for me because I wouldn't be able to use my expertise on that show.
Right.
I would have to use, check a bitch on that show.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. And so I said, let me just remove myself before I ruin myself and somebody on this show. But reality TV, I think it was good for its era. I think that it still plays a role in entertainment, but a lot of people are stuck in that. And so what they're doing is they got to create certain timelines to stay on it, right? And I feel like their life at the beginning is the real life. And then after they're on there for so many years, the question is how much of it is real now, because now you have to create sustainability for you to have a story.
Right.
But a lot of my friends are on reality TV, and, so for the sake of them, I hope it stays and they keep getting their bag and they keep doing their thing. But for me, if I'm producing it, I wouldn't mind doing it. If it's a show where I can provide healing, like Iyanla Vanzant, Fix My Life, that's reality that I love.
Right.
So shout out to her. That's my first coach and still someone who I go to for wise counsel. But shows like that I think are good. But I also think some people, Shannon, want to be entertained. I don't think we have a right to tell somebody what they need to watch to be entertained. People love it.
They do.
They do. And for some folks like myself who don't have drama in my real life, thank God, I don't watch.
Why do we like drama though? Why do we like the car crash? What is our obsession with seeing someone else crash out or seeing someone misbehave? Have we always been this voyeuristic?
Well, it's relatable to some people. It also validates that they are not alone in their crash out. Perfect example. Before Tubi became Tubi.
Yeah.
Now, when Tubi was hood movies.
Yeah.
I don't watch movies, but when I did watch a movie, it was Men's Society, Boys in the Hood, or a good Tubi hood movie. Why do you think I like that? It was home for me.
Right.
It was childhood for me. I related to that. I grew up in that. I didn't want to recreate that. But every time I watch it, I'd be like a little kid in bed in my pajamas, right? Eating, having my drink, my wine, and I'm just loving watching this gangster type of love story that I was a product of at one point. And so people watch what they relate to. Remember that. And we live in a world, especially within our community, where you do have the broken homes, you do have the dysfunction. But I do want to give us our props real quick because there are so many people in general, but especially Black folks, who are understanding that faith without works is dead. Who have the faith and the principles. Most of us grew up in a church home. We Black, we know God, we know principles, we know the Bible, but they're coming to therapy. They're making therapy a lifestyle. They're understanding that mental health is real, that mental health will make, or it has been breaking us. And so I want to give our community the props of saying that, listen, super proud of us for showing up and making mental health a conversation and making therapy a conversation on many podcasts, on many talk shows. 80% of my clients are celebrities, are athletes, NFL players, baseball players, and a good 90-ish are Black. And Black men at the highest rate of any of my clients, especially my A-listers and my athletes, have experienced suicide attempt or suicide ideation and never told anyone. And they're just blessed and happy that they didn't act on it or follow through.
That wasn't always the case.
It was not always the case.
I'm old enough and grew up in an environment where you weren't allowed to cry if you were a man because that was a sign of weakness. When did you think this shift happened where Black men were comfortable coming to sit down and talk to a Dr. Bryant, or they were willing to go seek counseling? This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling. I'm not okay. And I'm big enough. I'm man enough.
I love that.
I'm not prideful enough to say, Doc, I need to talk to somebody because I got these thoughts going on inside and I don't know how much longer I can fight them.
So as much as most people hate social media, I believe that is one of the positive impacts social media has had, is folks being able to see other folks that look like them, Black men being able to see other Black men, Black boys seeing Black men on social media that look like them expressing themselves, having mental health breakdowns on social media, showing the results of therapy, the results of not getting therapy. We've had Black folks on social media commit suicide. We've had clips of that. I think social media The power, the positive power that it does have is the witnessing of other people having the same crash out or mental health crisis as we as a viewer are having, and normalizing it for us so we don't feel alone, and then seeing what they did to cure it or to help it and saying, you know what, I want that help too.
Right.
I think when you don't have the vision of what is possible for you, like the Bible said, we perish. We perish. Right? The Bible says it. It says people without a vision do what? Perish.
Wow.
And it says hope deferred does what? Makes the heart sick. So when you lose hope, we have a sick heart, which make what? Sick people, whether it's physically or mentally. But one thing you said that I love is you said them coming to session and being like, okay, doc, you know, I'm broken, or I have these thoughts and I feel this way. Y'all don't come to session like that, by the way.
It takes a while to get them.
Y'all work my ass, okay? It don't be like that. Especially black men. You come in session, and I love this about you. Listen, I have a soft spot for my black. I love y'all, boy. Y'all come to session.
I don't even really want to be here. I don't even know why I'm here, but I'm here.
Or my wife made the appointment, or y'all sit in session, and I love this part. You're waiting for me to create a safe space. Why do I love that? Because I am not entitled to hear your issues just because I have a title. You should make me work to create a safe space for you so that you know you can trust me. However, you should do that as well in your relationships before you putting your penis in a woman. You should make sure that that body
No, we ain't got
and
that
that
kind of time.
space,
Yeah, we ain't got
that
that kind of
body
time.
and that space is safe, so that your trauma and your issues wouldn't become buried in your codependency on and sex.
Damn.
And you would be able to gain a sense of self and not a sense of your codependency, where all it does is trigger and inflame your traumas and your existing self-hate and issues. And then we would have better men, not for women, but for themselves. And the suicide rate is the highest in black men.
Really?
Do you know what the root of suicide is? It's self-hate. It's identity crisis. You have to hate yourself so much and the identity that you tell yourself you have to want to kill the biggest part of you. That is an identity crisis.
But then you don't realize, okay, I'm hurting so bad. And if I do this, I'm no longer hurting. But you miss the most important part. The people that you leave behind that gotta hurt forever. Because now they question, where did we go wrong? What did we do wrong? What signs did we miss?
And you know what's funny? The people that you want them to think about that's gonna hurt the most when they're gone are the people that got them in the pain that hurts them the most.
Wow.
So you think they give a care about leaving you? Let me tell you something. I've had a boy sit on my phone and tell me that he was going to kill himself in the kitchen, time it so perfectly so that his father could walk in and see him, because he wanted his father to feel the pain that he projected onto him that he was not aware of. You think that little boy cared about his father being in pain for the rest of his life when the whole intention was killing myself is the measurement of the pain that you have projected onto me? That
So I
you
want
ain't
you to feel this
addressed,
pain.
you ain't said nothing about it. You going about your daily life. Dating, working, doing whatever you're doing. And I am bleeding to death in front of you. In front of you. I had to sit on the phone with that boy for hours and hours. He's now doing well. Suicide ideations are gone. Him and his father have the most amazing relationship. Wow. And his father always says, I am forever, ever indebted to you. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Right? But I said that to say, that's not how a person who is in excruciating pain to the point where they want to kill themselves is at.
They don't think like it.
They're not thinking like that. But also, there's an accountability piece to the people who are around them. It's not good enough, Shannon, for me to ask you, baby, you okay? Let me tell you something. I have two brothers, both younger. If I ask our baby brother, his name is Shane, he's a baby of all of us. If I call his phone, if I call his phone and he don't answer too many times, you can ask my best friend and assistant who's in here, Shannon. I'll pull up and lay on that horn, knock on that door, come in the house. Because, bro, what is up? What is going on? And there has been times where that was needed. And he didn't want to say what was going on. He was raised to be that man that you said. That if a bill is short, he's not going to ask. If he's feeling some type of way, he's not going to speak. But when he walks in the house, I can tell when his mood's off. Because I pay enough attention to that boy. Because I love him. And as folks who love our folks, we have to pay more attention than just, Shannon said he was good.
We caught up in our own self. We ain't got time to be thinking about all that.
But if I noticed you weren't good, that's the only reason why I asked you.
Right.
And you said you was. Why did I take that as okay? Why didn't I say, no, you're not?
No, because you asked that question for a reason.
Or you got some people who ask it for the okay, which is an egocentric approach, just to say.
Well, I asked him and he said he was okay. I done my part.
So ask me when you really care. Don't ask me how I'm doing if you really don't care. Because if I'm not doing well and I told you I wasn't and all you was asking to say you did your part,
right.
How was you going to provide resources? How were you going to be someone who can help me with this impairment? So what I want to say, honestly, to everyone within our community, this is just real. The whole "what's up, dog, you good?" needs to be a real, but are you good? Well, I ask you that because I know you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up? And I need to be pressing you. Like I press you when I want to go have a drink. Mm-hmm. Like I press you when I want to go hang out. Like I press you when I want to turn up.
Yeah.
Like I press you when I want to be outside.
Right.
Like I press you when I want to watch the game. I should be pressing you when I know something's not right with you. Because that's what real friendship is. That is what real love is. And I don't care if you get mad. I'm in your business. And I want to know why. Especially with black men.
Yes.
Especially with black men. We need to, because y'all will get fussy and get emotionally uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And why you bugging me, why you want to talk about, because I'm bugging you. And until we talk, or you tell me something, I'm not going away because I love you. I've had to tell clients who've been mad at me in session, listen, I'm doing my job. You can't get rid of me. So you can get as mad as you want. I'm not going nowhere. Do you know how that shifted the whole trajectory in that man's whole attitude? When I said, well, I'm not going nowhere. So you can get mad. We still got 30 minutes. I'm not going nowhere.
Wow.
And I'll be here next week too. I'm not going nowhere. I've had men break down and just cry by me saying, I'm not going nowhere. So we can unpack this and we can do this tug of war.
Right.
But I'm in your pain with you.
What about this situation? And I think, and yeah, I've heard this, and this happens a lot, is that sometimes when we reveal our deepest, innermost thoughts to our partner, they turn around and flip it when they get mad and throw it up in our face.
Yeah, that happens often.
So now I don't feel this is a safe space. So I've got to go to someone that doesn't have a dog in the fight. I know they're not going to throw this up in my face because they're like, well, you know, you can talk to me about anything, but I can't. Because the moment you get mad at me, you're going to throw this up in my face and say, see, your grandma didn't do this or your mama didn't do that. You got blah, blah, blah. And I mean, really try to hear that.
But why are you the only one going to someone to talk? Why are they not going to someone so that they can learn the proper tools to facilitate a healthy relationship? Y'all both need to be in someone's office.
But they're perfect, so, but anyway.
But that's a bit of narcissism is what you're describing. Because if I'm perfect, but you don't have a safe space with me, and I throw everything you say back in your face because that's just ego. If I'm throwing something back in your face, I'm intentionally trying to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also a competitive nature. Because anytime I'm trying to chip away at you so I can feel more superior to you. That's a narcissistic behavior. So what are we doing here? Now, again, I said narcissistic behavior. So you can have traits and not be diagnosed. You can have the behavior and not be diagnosed. Okay, y'all? So yes, but we have to be aware of that. And I think as women in general, especially black women, we do got to do a better job of holding space for y'all. We do got to do a better job of having a safe space for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do get upset, knowing how to have a fair fight. I can easily say you ain't shit for not telling me about that email.
Mm.
But do I have to say that's why your mama left you?
Exactly.
Because you probably was a lying ass when you was a teenager too?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's why she abandoned you? Because she didn't want to be around you either? Like, so those are things that we have to be aware of because that's venom.
Yes.
And if I'm spitting venom at you, that means venom is where? In me.
Yeah.
So now my trauma has just entered into the relationship. Not the woman you probably chose, which was the healthy me that showed up. My representative, which is still me, was a healthy me. I didn't tell you was a nothing ass dude when we first started dating. But now that you have entered into my vulnerability, which encompasses all of who I am, you are getting who? All of who I am. So you're not just getting the baby talk to me. Are you okay? Well, are you hungry? Well, what happened? Oh, that's okay. Just next time the email comes through, just tell me. Can you commit to that? Yeah, okay, baby, we good. Now you getting the trigger little girl in me who's abandoned. So now she's the one that's having an argument with you. And she is going to de-emasculate you. She is going to dismantle you. Why? Because she was dismantled as a little girl. And misery and healthy both love company. So when I'm in my healthy, I'm going to pull you in. But when I'm in my dysfunction, I'm going to pull you in. So this is why I say you have to have people who are hybrids, high functioning and low functioning. We have to both be both. Because when I'm in my low functioning, what do I need you to be in? You're high functioning.
All right.
I need you to say, baby, that's that little girl in you who's broken. And I know you don't mean what you're saying. And I love you. And I'm going to have grace for you right now. But I'm going to ask you not to talk to me like that.
Right.
Because you're crossing my boundary. And I'm working very hard to make sure the little boy in me don't get in the ring with her.
Right.
Because then we're going to trauma bond. And I don't know if we can come back from them blows.
Yes.
You have to stay in that position. And then when you go low, I have to be able to be aware of my man and say, whew, he's in that space.
Because normally, Doc, when they go low, I go to hell. I bypass the basement.
Hold on. Both of us, baby, because let me tell you.
I bypass the basement, Doc.
And then I remind, this how bad I get. I say, yeah, Shy, because God said if you make your bed in hell, he there. I said, well, then God,
come on.
we going.
Yeah.
We going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to work on that.
Yeah.
We got to work on that.
I'm getting better, Doc.
I'm getting much better.
I ain't got to fight anybody like I used to have. I'm getting older now, Doc. I'm getting wiser.
The problem is I still got the fight and the grit and the strategy, so I'm managing all that.
Is there a difference between a therapist and a life coach?
There is.
Okay.
So I started off as a marriage, family, and child therapist, right? Where I was working for a nonprofit under a license and diagnosing and doing progress notes and billing insurance and dealing with court-ordered families from DCFS, the Department of Child and Family Services. And so that was where a therapist diagnosed, we do progress notes, we bill insurance. A life coach is somebody who still provides resources and tools, right? Similar to a therapist, but we don't diagnose, we do not bill insurance, and we obviously don't need progress notes. Two totally different things. Also, a life coach isn't treating clients. A life coach is seeing clients. As a therapist, I was treating clients, right? Not just seeing them. My modality is a hybrid modality because I started off as a therapist, and my approach was cognitive behavioral therapy and psychodynamic. And because that's my foundation, I use a lot of those tools still in my life coaching. And to blend it all together, they're both needed. And that's why my hybrid approach is the most effective, because therapy is like, tell me more, let's talk about your childhood wounds. And these are why you do what you do. This is why you think the way you think, right? Your three-part house is how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. This is why your three-part house is disaligned. Then when we get you aligned, coaching says, all right, Shannon, now that we got you somewhat together, where do you want to go with this? Who do you want to be? You see, coaching, if the person doesn't have a therapeutic background like me, doesn't know how to penetrate the trauma, right? And therapists are not coaches. They're just trying to help you process through your stuff, but they're not going to get you to where you want to be. Okay. When you take both of them, which is me, the hybrid, we're going to talk about the stuff, and then we're going to get you to where you want to be. So your stuff does not come in and sabotage you once you get there. Because one without the other really is a deficit to the client. It just really is. Yeah.
Did you get this kind of vitriol before you became viral and you became an internet sensation? Did people dislike you then as much as they do seem to dislike you now? Because every time I turn around, somebody got something to say about you.
Well, you know what I say about that, Shannon.
What you say about it now?
Because, the internet lit your ass up too many times.
Oh, man, they got me. I ain't even on the internet no more. I ain't how.
You ducking. Shannon said, look, y'all don't want Shannon to go to hell, so leave him alone.
Nah.
You just leave it alone. I always say this, when everybody likes you, you're on your way. When they start to hate you, you made it. That's how I put it. But to answer your question, people have always loved me, but not always loved the truth. that I speak.
Okay.
I've always been a truth speaker before I was even in my field. And I just learned now that I don't give the truth outside of sessions, stage, interviews, or my speaking events.
Right.
If my friends don't ask, I don't give. It works better for the friendship, and it saves me the headache.
Right.
But I've always been a person who rocks the boat. I'm here to interrupt, generational pathologies. I'm here to interrupt dysfunctional pathologies. And as a disruptor, people are going to have an issue. And usually the hit dog is what barks.
Right.
And so I'm used to that, and I'm okay with it. And my intent is to hit the dogs that need a bark. And so as long as they barking, I'm doing my job.
Right.
And I always say, my sheep will know my voice. Even the wolf who's in sheep clothing, because that wolf is where? In my herd. And so either way, my thing is, as long as you get something and you do something with it, then I've done my job, because I'm obedient to who? God, not people.
China passed a law that said influencers need to hold a degree in the topics in which they discuss to reduce misinformation. Do you think as America should adopt that policy? I don't personally, because I think sometimes experience is the best teacher.
I agree. I don't think anyone should need a degree, accolade, or credential to give any type of expertise. No.
Right.
Because I agree with you. The first thing I say when I talk is when I went and spoke to the Stillers, shout out to my Stiller family. I said, listen, my accolades, these 6 degrees, they don't qualify me to speak to you. It's my experience. It's my pain. It's my abandonment. It's my trauma that's going to make me relatable to you.
Yes.
Nothing I read in the book. None of these plaques and degrees that are in my office on the wall is going to be what makes me relatable to you. And so I agree with you. And I also think that it's not just a person who has had experience. It's a person who has gained wisdom from that experience. Because I always say, when folks say, how can you give advice or wisdom to folks you've never been married to your mother? Well, because one, I don't teach people how to be married. I teach them how to get out of their own way. So I'm teaching you how to process through your stuff so you can be a better, healthier, happier man, and her do the same. Happy people make for happy relationships. Trauma out dysfunctional people make for trauma out dysfunctional relationships. However, I don't want to hear from a married couple that have been married 15 years and miserable 13 how y'all did it. Because you're giving me your blueprint to your failed marriage. So it's not just about experience, it's about the wisdom. Because if you look at really quick the Moses journey, he freed the Egyptians from Israelite, right? From Israelite, and what happened? The Israelites from Egypt, right? They crossed the Red Sea. He gets there, he's disobedient. The people are. So God makes him do what? Spend 40 years in the wilderness. He gets out the wilderness. Now Moses was the leader. He was supposed to be the expert.
Yes.
He done freed everybody, right? He done freed these Egyptians. So now he gets to the promised land. So God tells him, I'm going to bring you to the promised land. Remember, God's promises never return void. So he brings him to the promised land.
Yeah.
That means the promised land right here. Right here. And he tells Moses, talk to the rock. Water will come out. Well, Moses, being so experienced but not wise, he hits the rock. Water still comes out. Why? Because God does what? Keeps his promises. But guess who made it to the promised land but not in the promised land?
Moses.
Because he was what? Disobedient. But let me go further. Everybody that Moses led, everybody that was under Moses' wise counsel that wasn't wise, it was just experience, also didn't make it into the promised land. Only Joshua and Caleb made it into the promised land. So what am I saying, y'all? You got to be careful who has your ear. You got to be careful about this person has experience because they've been married for 20 years. That makes you think they have experience, but do they have wisdom? Because the Bible says to seek wise counsel, not to seek experience. So you got to make sure you're doing your due diligence, because like Moses, you don't want to end up being his follower who does all of this work. He could have left you in slavery for that.
Bondage. Yep.
You could have stayed in captive. You still didn't get to the promised land because it takes one decision to change the entire trajectory of your life. And that one decision to follow Moses got them where? 40 years of wilderness. And then where? Back in bondage because they never made it to the promised land.
Wow.
And so again, it's not to ding Moses, because we know Moses was doing God's job.
Yeah.
He just was disobedient though.
Right.
I just want folks to really be careful, to your point, of who they're listening to, and do your due diligence. Don't look at someone and say, well, because this man, has 3 kids by 3 different women, there's nothing I can learn from him. Let's see if what he's doing now is breeding the results that you want. Let's not look at a woman who doesn't have kids or a man who doesn't have a certain career. Phil Jackson, how many years of basketball did he play?
He played a couple. He was on the Knicks team. But Bill Belichick is better. He didn't play football.
But Phil also didn't do nothing Kobe and the people he coached did.
No, he didn't play at that. He didn't play at that level. But
is he one of the best coaches?
Yes,
arguably. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you can go with Bill Belichick. Same thing.
Yes.
OG, the Hall of Fame coach, in my opinion. Didn't
Coach Saban.
Okay, so my point is, those people are folks who are wise counsel because they're taking you to the promised land,
Right.
and allowing you to enter.
Right.
So we got to be careful with that. And so again, I'm teaching people results that I
Right.
have. If I don't have the results, I don't teach on it.
Right.
Because I don't know about it. And if I have had the experience, but it didn't get me wisdom or a good result, I'm not going to talk to you about it. I have a wise counsel for that.
Wow.
Because I'm not a know-it-all. But I do want to give you what I do know works. That's only fair.
You do a lot for the Black community. Black women are some of, if not the most educated, but seem to be losing in the job market at an alarming rate. Why do you think that is?
Why do I think Black women are losing in the job market? But they're the highest, because we are the highest educated
Yes.
folks out here. You said that part?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, want to make sure. I want to make sure. I think that I think that what's happening is more Black women, and studies have shown this, are turning to entrepreneurship. So it's not that we're losing in the workforce. It's that we are not really applying in the workforce.
Okay.
A lot of us are going into, and studies have shown that a lot of women have gone to law school, which means they're having their own law firm. So they're not being hired by anybody. They are going back to get their doctorate, meaning they're going in private practice. So who are they hired by unless they're working for a hospital? And a lot of women are starting their own entrepreneurship and doing their own thing. A lot of Black women, let me say, are starting their own businesses. And what I love about that most is these businesses are businesses that are actually, they're able to capitalize off of them, and they're successful businesses. And I believe the reason for that is there is, or has been for a while, a sisterhood that Black women have been able to build. There's no longer this barrier or angry Black women between Black women. Like, we have a village over here. We supporting each other. We are rocking with each other. And the issue is us trying to blend with y'all, and it's not y'all fault. It's just so that we don't have this barrier of this gender war. And it's not a us against y'all. It's more of how do we blend and support each other, even if we're not procreating or marrying or creating a family. How do we support each other just as community folks, just as a Black woman to a Black man? And what does that look like? And again, this has nothing to do with whether the Black man dates a non-Black woman. I'm saying, as a Black man, I don't care who you date, you can still support Black women because you believe in that. Because if you're a Black man, there is a 100% chance that if you have a daughter, she's Black. I don't care what her mama is. Which means you do have a responsibility to support us, because in return, you're supporting her.
Right.
And that's important.
Doc, what is how do I want to phrase this? A relationship. Because you get into a relationship, today is Tuesday. We get in a relationship on Tuesday. And Wednesday, that person's a different person. Thursday, that person's a different person, because the greatest key to survival is adaptability. How do you evolve every day as that person evolves without losing yourself?
I love that. It's impossible. Well, I think the Bible says cleave. One person. This is cleaving. Do you think that as we don't lose ourselves, we are going to not cleave? So when we bump up against each other, there has to be some movement, which is a bit of a loss of a self. Doesn't mean you become a different person before we can intertwine and cleave. That means you have to be willing to lose some pieces of you. And this is the thing. When you're single, don't you want to evolve?
Yes.
Don't you want to prune? Or do you want to be a fig tree? You know, the fig tree in the Bible got cursed because it didn't produce anything. God said you'll never be blessed because you weren't fruitful or multiplied.
That's why people don't like figs, huh?
But on the flip side, you know, the fig tree is actually the most fruitful tree ever. It grows year round. But let me say this. When you are by yourself, you want to evolve.
Yes.
Which means parts of you die. So why get in a relationship? And I love this question for black men and black women, especially black men. Evolution is about parts of you dying. So why is it that y'all okay with doing it when you're by yourself? Why is it that when you get with a woman and that is a necessity, she's either trying to mother you, trying to change you, or you're not willing to do it? That makes no sense at all. Because you have to evolve, and evolution is parts of you dying. That means you're losing parts of you.
Yes.
But when you get into a relationship, you're resistant at losing parts of you that are necessary for you to cleave with the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. If that is what's necessary for the bigger picture, for the mansion within y'all, the sanctuary within y'all, why is that an issue? I want to ask you that as a black man.
Yes.
Why is that a problem for y'all to cleave, which means evolve, which means lose parts of you when you are in a relationship? Why is there so much resistance of I am who I am? I'm not changing. You met me like this.
Yeah. That's a lot. Because I feel like, because like you said, we are losing parts. If we lose parts of ourselves, am I still the same Shannon?
But why do you want to be the same Shannon even if you're by yourself? So do you want to be the same 30-year-old Shannon you were?
No.
So then why do you want to be that on your number 2 with me? Or your number 5 with me? Why is it that me being the woman you chose,
Yes.
I got to be of some good character?
Yeah.
So my good character hasn't influenced you in any way to want
It made me want to do right.
to do better,
Yeah.
to do right.
But can I say
Hold on.
me?
I haven't watered any seeds in you.
Yeah, you have.
And so when those seeds are watered, right, and you start to grow, what about the pruning season within our relationship? So you just don't want to prune? Because if you don't want to prune, that means you don't want to grow. Because it takes pruning for growth.
Yes.
So explain to me. And even when we sow up the soil to plant new seeds, there's seeds down there that get sowed up, that end up dead. So at what point do we grow together? This is one of the biggest deficits and issues within our black community, of black and men being in relationship. At what point do we grow? If you're not willing to grow, fig tree, at what point? And then when God curses this marriage, head, because you covering me, because you refuse to be fruitful and multiply, fig tree, then what? I didn't do my job? Or was I too controlling? Or was I trying to be your mama? Or was it that you chose to sit up there with branches, unfruitful, not multiplying, because you didn't want to be pruned for us to grow? I'm just curious. I'm waiting to know the answer.
I wish I knew the answer.
And you look like you might be the only black man in this room besides the brother over there, and he's not in this interview with me.
No.
So why? You got to answer. You got to come up with some
Well,
answer.
Doc, if I knew that, I probably wouldn't be almost 60 and not married.
And I've heard you talk about how you are in relationships.
I am. I mean,
And you're
like you
very-
say, you got something non-negotiable, I got some
Right,
non-negotiable.
but you're very, and I don't say this to, poke you. I'm saying, wrapped in love. You're very stuck in who you are in relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And when I want my space, I want my space. And I don't need a shift or change. You can do what's conducive to me type thing.
Yeah.
And so that is the resistance. But you just said as a single man, you would not want to be the same 30-year-old you are now.
I don't, but I just.
So why do you want a woman to be with you while you the same person you were when I met you?
I'm working. I'm a work in progress. It's taking me longer than anticipated. I had to repeat a couple of grades.
Okay.
I think, to be honest, Doc, I don't know, like I don't know, maybe like you say you had this vision of being married. I don't know if I really, really deep down inside thought about I was going to ever be married, because I was just, my whole focus was to get my family out of the environment that we was in.
Right.
And I didn't necessarily I thought I needed a wife in order to do that. So it was just work, focus. And I don't do a great job of multitasking. So I can't do my job and love this person like I love this job. That's the hardest part, because I've always put work first. Work has always come first. When I played, it was the most important thing. It was the only thing. You play second, or if you can't play second, just we ain't no sense in you getting in the car. And so it's so hard for me to turn that off, because I've done it for so long. And now that I have so many people counting on me, brother, sister, mom, kids, it's just hard for me and you know, the thing that I got, that's all you do is work. The only thing that you care about is work. And sometimes I think that is true. Because I've gone on one vacation in 57 years.
But what are you overcompensating for? Because workaholics are overcompensating for something they're lacking. And oftentimes, work is transactional.
Yes.
It's not relational, it's transactional.
Yes.
Oftentimes, folks will overcompensate in transactional worlds for what they're lacking in relational worlds. And it's usually because of what you said. They don't know how to operate in the relational world.
No.
But they do well over here.
I do.
And we all go where we do what?
Best.
Well.
Yes. That's why I don't do a
well.
whole lot of things, but what I do, I'm very good at.
Yeah.
I don't take on new hobbies because I hate, well, how do you know if you're good at it? I know. And so what I'm good at, I become great at. I think.
But I want to know, when are you going to give yourself a chance to love and be loved? Because you don't have to enter into it being great already. You just have to enter into it with the willingness to shift and be malleable, not to the woman, but to the opportunity of you being loved and loving somebody back.
Yeah.
Which is really, you know, the ultimate fulfillment. The reason why we have to keep working and keep working and keep working and turn into workaholics is because there is a monetary or a limited fulfillment over here.
Yeah.
So we have to keep to get it.
Yeah.
Like a drug.
Yeah.
To get it.
Yes.
But see, love is not like that.
It's not. I think, Doc, for me, growing up how I grew up and not having, it just drove me. And that was the thing that I really obsessed about, was to see my grandmother not have to worry about bills and not have to worry about things. And so I just poured everything. God gave me the ability to be disciplined, be dedicated, and be determined. And so for me—
Wait, but not to a woman.
No, because if there was a choice, Doc, if I had a choice between work or woman, I'm choosing work.
But that's because work is safe for you.
It is.
What is so unsafe with you emotionally with the woman?
I think for me, I haven't had the best luck with women.
Why?
But I haven't been the best for them.
That's okay. Talk about the luck. What is the narrative around you haven't had the best luck with women?
Because I've never given them all of me like I have a job. I only gave them what they couldn't hurt.
There you go. This is good. What is it that they could hurt? What's that?
Me.
What part of you?
My heart.
That was hurt when? When was the first heartbreak you can even think of?
I don't even.
Who was it by?
I'm not even sure, Doc. Because
Was it by Dad? Where's Dad?
my dad died when I was 13.
Was he with Mom?
No.
What kind of guy was he?
I only saw my dad once to really know who I was looking at.
There you go. There you go. So that abandonment, that abandonment wound. What is your narrative about your father? What kind of guy was he to only have seen him once?
Well, when he and my mom divorced, my grandfather, growing up how we grow up, get divorced, the kids are going with the maternal grandparents. And that's what we did. We came down to South Georgia.
But let me word it different then. What kind of father would you have to be to only see your child once in 13 years?
I think he was embarrassed.
About what?
Not being what he wanted what he thought he should have been. Not being there. My dad had some drinking issues, and he didn't think he was the father that he should have been. And I remember my grandmother, Grandma Charlie, his mom, told us that he wanted to come home. But at that point in time, he had both jawbones removed because of cancer. And he didn't want, Grandma Charlie, he called her Charlie. He said, Charlie, I don't want the kids to see me like this. And she said, Pete, they're going to love you regardless. They just want to see their dad. And he said, you know what? He said, you know what, Charlie, I'm going to come home in September.
Yeah.
Well, he died in August. And so Yeah, I would have loved, because I when I played college ball and I played in the NFL and I saw guys have their dad in the locker room or standing on the sideline, I used to think, man, it'd be so cool to have my dad here and to be a part of this. But it didn't happen. But my grandfather died when I was 8, and that's who raised my grandmother and my grandfather. But Granny poured every ounce into me. But there are some things I think that I did miss because I didn't have. My brother was like my father. He was really the dominant male figure that was in my life. But that's, Doc, I mean, poverty, that's what kind of shaped me. And I joke and I say, man, we grew up so poor, I had to win the lottery just to be broke.
Right.
That's how bad we were, Doc.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me now. All I think about is like, okay, if something happens to me, what's going to happen to Libby? What's going to happen to Spanky? What's going to happen to my mom? My kids, they're going to be okay. They're going to get more money than, would they do right by, would they, and that's what keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
And I need to shift that.
Yep.
And say, okay, Shannon, if something were to happen to you, your family's going to be okay. Because I do want someone.
And I'm going to say something, okay? And I totally wrap it in love. Okay, because it's going to probably sound a little pokey, but the same selfishness you just described your father has, you have it. You have it. And the pain that his selfishness and his pride and his ego implemented in you is the same pain that you're implementing in everyone you come in contact with, including your girls and their mothers. What your father taught you was nobody, not even y'all, were good enough for him to come around or stay around. And nothing has been good enough for you to stay around. Not even your kids, because you obviously are not or were not with their mothers.
Right.
And it doesn't make you a bad man. It just makes you a man that needs to be aware of your makeup and how you're built. Because you can't change that. When we talked about it earlier, you can manage that once you realize, damn, I'm him too. So until you realize that ego, that pride that he has taught you, and it's obviously in your DNA as well, and that selfishness is what will always be a barrier between you and your heart, not you and a woman, it's you and your heart, then you will always overcompensate and work. And you're going to do damn good over here. But it's going to come a time, if it hasn't already, that what you're overcompensating for, which is the heart space, starts to consume you. And you're going to need that to even balance you over here. Because we can only do something out of moderation for so long before the moderation says, yo, what's up? Especially the matters of the heart. And with you, it's what I said earlier, right? Hope deferred makes the heart sick. And when a little boy becomes deferred from hope at a young age with his father, and they take on the father role like you did and go and get it and put the family on the mat and take everybody out of poverty, he usually never returns to find himself. And the only thing, or one of the biggest things that kind of breaks my heart with you is you've accomplished so much in everything you've touched transactionally. It has turned to gold, all the way down to the gold jacket. But like the fig tree, you still haven't found yourself. All the way at the age of 60. And finding yourself takes the heart.
The mind replays what the heart can't delete.
Hello. And so you have been operating from such a mind space so that you don't have to even have a connection with the heart, that it has put you in such a deficit of self. And that's what goes back to when I said a man who can procreate with multiple women without wanting to make sure that there is a foundational family there, he has a loss of self. And that man has an identity crisis. And there is a huge self-love deficit because a man who loves himself makes decisions that represent self-love. And everything that you have externalized is a direct reflection of you. The brokenness in the families you created, that's just the brokenness in you. How you can be successful transactionally, but your heart is over here, talking about, well, at what point am I going to get seen? And then what the little boy in you tells the heart is, didn't nobody want to see you when you was young. Wasn't nobody tripping off you then. So why do we think anybody is deserving, right? Or why do I think, as a little boy, that you're deserving of someone who would take your heart and really protect it and create a safe space? So it's easier for you to have transactional sex or have things that are convenient for you because that gives you control. And control is just insecurity, and security is just fear. And that's that little boy in you who is so afraid that if I can't touch and go with everything, I might end up touch and staying and might get stuck in a place that I don't know how to navigate. Let me say this again, not in a place that isn't safe, not in a place that isn't loving, but in a place that the little boy in you does not know how to navigate. It's time for the grown man in you to grow the up and give yourself a chance to love, whatever that looks like, and to gain a sense of self of who you really are at your heart space. Because transactional life isn't really legacy. It just isn't. It's nice on paper.
Yeah.
But it's not legacy. The real wealth and the real legacy is what Dion has. And that's family. That's family. I'm not saying you don't have it with your girls. And I'm not saying it's too late to create it.
Right.
But what I'm saying is I would like to offer that at some point, you do start to say, let me just dive into my heart by myself. Even if you're still doing your transactional stuff with women or whatever, I'm not saying stop, you grown. But start to just get a sense of self of like who you are at the heart space. Because that's our heart is who we are. Our mind is something that we have to have dominion over to control. But our heart is something we can't control because it's the authenticity of who we really are.
Well, since you put it since that, what is it about good girls and bad guys?
What is it about good girls who like bad guys?
Yes.
You mean like the women who've been liking you?
I guess you could say that, Doc. Touche.
Trying to get crafty. I think that those women, again, are women who are overcompensating for that kind of fatherly bad guy who can come in and create a leadership that they believe leadership is. Usually those women are fatherless little girls who don't have a clue on what healthy leadership looks like. So they look at the bad guy who can puff his chest out and who can call shots or who can have some control over her as this is leadership because he's giving me some type of guidance, some type of direction.
Yes.
A woman who has had a father knows how to decipher from a controlling man who's the bad guy and a man who knows how to lead her. And what happens is, it's not that the woman with the father doesn't want a man who can run shit, because I like a man who will run shit.
For sure.
Who will tell me exactly where to go, how to go, and I'm even okay with saying how high when he say jump, when the leadership is right.
Right.
I'm quick to submit.
Okay.
Okay, daddy, no problem. But a man who is a bad guy with ill intent, because if you don't have good intent, you have ill intent. There is no lukewarm.
Okay.
That's it. So you're either deceiving me or you're allowing me a safe space where I can trust you. There's no in between. So the bad guy is in deception. And only a woman who wants to be led by a deceiver is a woman who is lost in herself. But a woman who is not lost in herself and has a sense of self and a sense of what a male healthy leader looks like my father led me.
Right.
Not to a ditch, but led me even when he had to crucify himself to lead me.
Right.
That is what a husband looks to me. A bad guy says, I'm not crucifying nothing over here. You'll be on the cross before me. And here, you can carry mines too, because that's what's conducive for me. That's a woman who is lost in the sauce. And she has daddy issues, and oftentimes she may even have parental issues. And that's also a woman who has to take a step back and take inventory on, where did I learn that this leadership is accurate leadership if I keep being led into the ditch? That means that all she's ever known is what? The ditch. And what did I say? We go to places where we're good at or where what we're familiar with. So if you want to know where you at, just understand that you are where you're familiar at. So my expectations of men are very high because my father created a very high familiar standard expectation. This is why I said a woman is what her daddy makes her, especially when it comes to men. My dad actually made the expectation too high. And then he had to tell me, like, baby, you're going to keep being the bridesmaid, not the bride, if you keep having these unrealistic expectations. And I'm looking like, well,
Well, you the one that
Came
set
from
those
you.
expectations
And he had to
unrealistically.
explain to me, every man's not going to be daddy. He can be daddy to you in his own way.
Right.
It may not look like this.
Yes.
It doesn't mean he's not a good guy
Right.
when it comes to you. So that's what it is. It's folks not understanding what healthy leadership is. Men do the same thing. Men will, pick women who run them, emasculate them, verbally abuse them, talk to them anyway, because for that man, that's all he knew, was that is how a woman leads.
Toxic relationship. How soon do you think a person, can you tell, could you tell within, say, a week, a couple of months, that this is going to be, this is toxic. There's too much toxicity in this, and this is not going to end well, and I just need to go now.
Red flags show up, I believe, in the first interaction. People just choose not to see them because they're desperate. There's two people. There's people who have a full plate, and they got to make room for what they want, and there's people that have an empty plate, and they want anything just to fall on it at any time. That's called desperation. You can see red flags when you have a full plate from the beginning. Me and you can have a conversation at a restaurant or at a gym, right? And the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, I can tell he's too resistant for me. He's not going to be conducive for me. Or this man knows how to have a conversation with my strong personality. This might work out. You will be able to tell, oh, she feisty, not my type.
Yeah,
Right?
man.
Right? Look. Or
we got a live one here.
live one here. Or like, ooh, that fire is kind of sexy to me. I like this strength. I can play with this. Those things show up the first 5, 10 minutes if you're not desperate. Desperation means I'm coming in with my own idea of what I want you to be. I'm afraid to see you for who you are because then that means I may have to say no to you. And I want somebody so bad that I'm going to put my idea on you, not see none of the red flags on purpose so that I can have something to plug into. That's desperation.
How about I see you as you are and not how I wish you to be? Because I think that's a lot of things that be at play. They don't see the person for who they actually are, but who I wish you to be.
That's the fairy tale ideology. I wish you were wine, but you water. We are not Jesus. We are not turning water to wine.
Right.
This is always going to be water. And what people do is they go, it's wine.
Yeah.
Sit it on the shelf. Watch this. And every time they take a sip, they're like, oof. I don't like you.
Me.
Right. I don't like you because you're not wine. But how many times does that water tell the person, I'm just water.
Just plain water.
I'm just water.
Can you fix a toxic relationship? Can you be toxic in the beginning and all of a sudden not be toxic?
Yes, but it takes a whole hell of a lot of work and a lot of dedication. And it takes two people that are in therapy having individual sessions and couple sessions. So my couples come individually one week and then a couples the next week, individual and couples. And it takes a lot of self-awareness, meaning I'm going to be poking and thriving and giving inventory on this is how you show up that is causing impairment for yourself. See, we don't really cause impairment for people first. The impairments that you experience, I'm already experiencing within me. Otherwise, you could have never experienced them. So if you think you have a problem with the shit you got a problem with me with, how you think I'm dealing with myself?
Right.
That's what people have to understand. So that thing that you do that doesn't work for us, you do it with you and don't like it anyways. That's how it shows up in our relationship. So when you're in session with me as your doctor, I'm saying, listen, Shannon, that thing that you keep doing that she doesn't like, tell me how you like it within yourself. And I've almost never heard a person say, oh, I love that I drink and I'm abusive. Do you? Because what is your self-talk when you're drinking? How abusive are you with your narrative to yourself when you are under the influence? Damn, Doc, you're right.
Right.
Damn, Doc. So let's fix it with you. Because if I could fix it with you, guess what? It won't happen with her. But where people go wrong at, they want to fix it within the relationship.
Without fixing themselves.
Come on now. But you still got it.
Right.
So if you got it, you're going to project it. We are all just little projectors walking around here. Everything I have, you are going to feel it. So I'm just projecting onto you who I am. If I feel sexy, you're going to see sexy in me because I'm projecting that. I'm alluding that. If I'm feeling insecure, you're going to feel. So we're just projectors. And yes, folks can go from toxic or, trauma bonds to healing bonds. But That usually happens with folks who've been married for 10, 15 years, I'm being honest, where they have toxic and trauma the hell out of each other. And they came to a peak of saying, one thing we know for sure, we don't want to leave. We don't want to leave each other.
Right.
But we don't want to stay like
But we
this.
can't stay like this.
Now, unless those two people know that one thing is I don't want to leave you, you don't want to leave me, we just can't stay like this, the relationship can work past it.
Right.
But if one of us wants out,
It's over.
it's not working past it. It's not working past it.
No.
But when you get a relationship where they say, look, Shannon, I'm just never going to leave you. And you like, Doc, I ain't going nowhere. But we got to do better than this. And you
Right.
like, we do? We're in a good position.
Okay.
And we can work through that.
Okay. I like that. This relationship with the women now, you got to take me here, you got to take me there. We go in half on the bills. I just grew up, like I said, I'm going to come from a different time. My grandfather handled all the bills. I never remember, when I was in high school or college, I never really heard a woman says, I took him to the movies, or I bought this. I never heard that. That, I guess, I don't know when that came about, that, women took guys on dates and they paid for
Do
things.
you not like that?
I just that's
You're
how
a
I
man's
grew up.
man. You're just a man's man.
So I pay all the bills.
Yeah.
We go out to eat. I pay. I do all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, has a woman taking me to dinner? Yes, but I probably can count on one hand in my 57 years of living that someone is taking me to dinner and actually pay for it, taking me to a movie and pay for it.
Yeah.
I feel less than.
Yeah. What's you're saying? What's the question?
So what happened?
That's sexy. You ask, wait, what's the question? Because if a man is saying, I'm taking care of everything, and you got a woman you're a man's man,
Yes.
and I'm a lady's lady, of course I'm going to want to spoil you at times, but I would have no problem with you saying, baby, I want to take care of everything. It wouldn't stop me from still buying you things and loving on you, but I would show love as a lady.
When did the 50-50 come into effect? Or when did we get to this notion that some of these restaurants and everything ain't got to be Mastro's or Steak 48. When did we that is beneath me. You can't take me there.
Mm-hmm. So there's a two-part question that I'm hearing. When did the 50-50 become the thing?
Yeah.
Right? So that's a two-part answer.
Okay.
One part is when desperation started to become a thing with women.
Okay.
Where, again, anything, just a breadcrumb, please fall on my plate.
Right.
And I'll even buy the breadcrumb and the loaf.
Wow.
Just fall on my plate.
Okay.
That's a woman operating from a desperate space of, I will do anything to have somebody. I don't care what it is or what I have to do. I'll take care of you. I'll pay a bill, or 2 or 3. You can move in with me. It doesn't matter. You can be the father of my kids and do nothing for these kids. As long as you come by and sleep with me once a week, I'm okay with that. Desperation. Then you have these other women who say, look, I'm with this man. He's a great man. He's faithful. He's loving. He's a family guy. He does well, but not enough to sustain my lifestyle.
Okay.
So he may pay for 60% of things.
Okay.
And I don't mind doing the other 40.
Right.
That's a whole different woman who's saying that I want to build with this man and I see so much value in him that I don't mind making some monetary investments in us. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Desperation, big problem. Okay. But as far as, I think a man saying, I want to take care of everything. And you remember, I was a kept woman.
Yeah.
And I can say this, I was engaged twice. My first fiance, who was a great guy, he made money, but I was a breadwinner. Mm-hmm. Okay. The second guy was a kept woman. I wasn't always as respectful to the first guy, where I was winning the bread and where I was in the more masculine role when it come to bills.
Oh, dog, I can't believe you was like that.
This is the truth. Let me tell you what happens, though.
What happened?
When a man can't provide for a woman and he wants to, he naturally emasculates himself. Mm-hmm. And when you emasculate yourself, how in the hell do I respect a man who is emasculated within himself? Because remember, I'm just a mirror. Life is mirroring you. Mm-hmm. So as you become emasculated and you feel less than because you can't provide what you want to do.
Yes.
Even if I didn't ask you to.
Even
if I didn't ask you to. Now, how am I supposed to respect someone who doesn't respect themselves? I'm going to respect you at the level that you respect yourself. Doesn't mean that I'm calling you out your name.
Mm-hmm.
It just means respect level. Now, the second fiance I didn't buy a grape. I mean, I don't have car notes now, but I had car notes then to a G-Wagon, a Bentley. This man took over everything.
What?
Everything.
You ain't married him?
Honey, everything. Now, hey, be quiet. Mind your business over there. Mind your business over there. Everything. My level of respect for him was very different. Very different. Now, not that I denied either one of them, love making in the home, but the first guy was by all means necessary. I'm in college. I'm building my business. I'm making money. I'm in my bag. You're secondary. Kind of how you are with work.
Oh, you were denying him.
Not intimacy.
You ain't denied that?
No, not neither one. I don't believe in that.
Okay.
If I'm with you and we're intimate, I'm not.
Because they women, y'all be doing that sometimes.
I don't. I'm very submissive when it comes to that. I'm not into casual sex.
Okay.
So if we are doing then
we gonna do it.
We are committed and we are together. I have full access to you and everything you got going on, and we are committed.
Sounds about right.
So I don't need to deny you. My sex drive is so high that if I'm mad, there's no denying. We're going to do what we do. Now, let's move past that. We move past that. Okay, it always been like that, even in my 20s and I'm in my 40s. So use your imagination. Now, what? Yes. Now, the guy who took full care of me.
He might circle back.
No, please don't.
He might circle back here and you talk like this.
Do not.
But
do not.
You go home, he right in the driveway.
Do not. Now, I had a level of respect for him where I put work second.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't wait to cook for him. There was times where he would get back from practice. It's 1 a.m. at night, and we sitting in bed, and he's like, babe, I want X, Y, and Z to eat. And it wasn't him asking me to do it. I got up, put my gospel music on, and was making sure I was cooking for this man. Whatever he needed. When he was working, I would make coffee every single morning, and I was so submissive that, I can just warm the coffee or put the damn milk in. No, he wanted the milk in first, the milk warmed up, then the coffee put in after. Now, how would he know I'm doing it that way? He wasn't in the kitchen, but I still did it that way.
Because you know that's what he liked.
Because I know that's what he liked. And because the investments that he was making in us to cover me, to take care of me, how could I not make any and every investment that I had to show him that I'm grateful and that my position that he put me in as far as being kept was not taken for granted? And so there was nothing that he asked of me that I not want to do, meaning I wanted to do these things.
Right.
And I would even check in sometimes and be like, is there anything more that I could or not be doing, whether it's from sexually to cooking? I don't eat red meat. He a black man. He loves his pork chops and his steaks.
Yeah, no good old pork.
And I'm cooking all the red meat that I don't eat, and I'll just make me something separate on the side.
Wow.
But because this man created an environment that was safe. Now, not only was he paying bills, but this man was faithful. I had full access. Not only am we living together, but I have passwords to cell phones and social media.
You sure you don't want to go back and get
and
it?
bank account. I don't. And bank accounts.
I mean, you ain't gonna find nobody better. He paying all the bills. Let you get the password, the account. Hey, babe, let me get your phone. Let me call my girlfriend. Here you go, babe.
He has 2 beautiful girls.
Oh, that's right. He had the key.
By 2 different women. And the girls were never an issue. He did a great job at the coping. And I got to give him his flowers. He did a great job at blending, meaning like there was never baby mama drama.
Yeah.
The girls were very respectful of me and me of them. We did things as a family. So, but I say that to say there plays a role in certain women on how they can respect who they're with.
Right.
I want to say this to women. If you can't respect them, you shouldn't choose them. If the dollar amount that he makes is going to lessen your respect for him or lessen his value to you, don't choose him. If he needs to take full care of you for you to submit, he ain't the right one. You got to choose somebody who you know that every time you give them every single thing that you got, that you're doing it because you love doing it and it turns you on too. Every time I did something for that man, I was turned on. I don't remember doing one thing, Shannon, for him that I was like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, nothing. I mean, it was just, okay, baby, okay, daddy, to the point where, and folks gonna have an issue with this, I don't care. I would get dressed and wear certain things. And we go out and do wherever we go into a game or whatever, to families. If he said, that's too much, I changed.
What?
Without a problem. He wasn't controlling. It wasn't take that shit off. It was like, baby, that might be a bit much.
Yeah.
No problem. To the point where I'd come out and be like, okay, is this good? Because he had me so safe, he had me so covered, that I wanted to make sure that I reciprocated that
Right.
same safety and covering
Okay.
for him. See, women cover y'all differently. And our covering is allowing you all to, one, be exactly who you need to be, right? To be in your full fledged of your masculinity. And also to submit to your needs of us that are past just sexual and domesticated. If he had a request by me that wasn't abusive and I was okay with, why does it matter?
Why
And
wouldn't
if, like he would say, if I am the only man you're trying to be sexy for, why does it matter?
Right.
There'd be times where he would say, baby, don't wear makeup. Like, I like you with no makeup. It's gorgeous. Just throw your hair up with no makeup. Now, I love to be dolled up. I love to be dolled up.
Yeah.
But I would do it for him, no makeup. Because I'm sure there's many times where I wanted Giuseppe boots. Or the Paris trip him and I took.
Oh, you like
Hold on. Or the trip to Africa we took.
What?
That he that I seen him have to work double and triple for. That he didn't huff a puff about. There were times where this man got 2 jobs to make sure that things were covered that I wanted. So me changing clothes or him having a request at something is minute to me seeing him put in the work to make sure that I'm happy beyond just having a roof over my head. And I think that, and that was his first time taking care of a woman, and he was 50 at that time. I was 14 years younger than him. I think that women state they want a safe space for them to be in their soft and their feminine. But on the flip side, men also need an environment that makes them feel very loved, submitted to, appreciated when they're taking care of your ass as well. I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
It is definitely a reciprocal thing. And I think that when we get to a place of understanding that, it's a win-win situation in the relationship. And then you start to see what the Bible talks about, equally yoked. So yeah, I would take that offer again of being kept in loving the hell out of my man. It just has to be the right one. Not him, but the right one.
Why you say it like that?
I don't want it. Listen, when I'm done, when I've gone on, I've gone on. It's nothing to do.
Oh, you've never spun the block.
No, I don't spin the block. No, what happens is I can have long-term relationships, and if we happen to, have a break of something, like we're just no longer in a relationship, and then we happen to maybe get back into a relationship, yes, but spinning the block, meaning like we're just gonna go back and sleep together and do this thing, no, that's not how I show up. No. Let me sip my dark.
Yeah. You see, I know you saw it because you know all things that's what's going on. Summer Walker went viral because she had a relationship with Rich the Kid, who's engaged, and he saved her under Pizza Hut in his phone. I don't know what that means. Now, Pizza Hut used to have, this is before your time, but Pizza Hut used to have buffets. They have all the pizzas up there, and you just go get a slice of pepperoni, whatever, mushroom, you get ground beef, all that, anchovies. I don't know what that means.
How did the fiance find out that she was Pizza Hut? Do we know that?
Don't start me the line.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out what is it about women and married men? Because normally married men, like, oh, she married? I don't want to, because men are different. Hold on, just a second. A man, he might not even want his wife, he might not be as interested as he was once before. But the moment another man show interest, you're going to have a problem, Doc. But women, what is it about women that are attracted to married men? Because I just saw the study, they say women are more attracted to married men.
Okay. Another 2-part question.
Yeah.
See, you're not messy, but you're crafty. First of all, men love married women as well.
Do they?
We're not going to let men off the hook. A man will love to say, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. Can I get your number? I'm married. Oh, that's fine. It's all good.
You can't have friends?
It's all good. You can't have friends? So we're not going to make this a one gender thing. Men and women both
How about me?
will cross that boundary and disrespect the sanctity of marriage equally.
You think so?
The difference is the man who was saying, I don't care if you're married, is clearly, boldly saying, I just want to sleep with you.
Okay.
The woman who was saying, I like you because you married, she's saying at some point, I want her position. And women are usually attracted to the married men who are good men to their wives. Not faithful men, just good men through their transactions, not from their heart, because they're not committed. Commitment is a heart thing. That's a spirit thing. So transactionally, I see that you do the
You got
things that I
cars,
like.
you got furs, you got diamonds, y'all go on trips. So if you do that for her, maybe that's, I'll be the starting quarterback one day.
And y'all do it for her. Let me go further. Y'all do more for her than you do for the wife. Way more for her. I have clients who have the password to their married man's phone that the wife don't have the password to.
What?
She thinks that's a flex. You have the number because you know that he's married. So you know there's other women. That's not a flex. She don't have the password because if she finds out, guess what? He got something to lose with her. He ain't got shit to lose with you, sis, because you the side chick. And it's very rare that y'all leave the wife for who?
Side chick.
Very rare. That's a position that ain't up for grabs. Because even if he ain't attracted to her, the fact that he's even cheating on the wife is what makes him feel indebted to her. Side chicks are stupid to think it's the other way. I'm already cheating on her. I've already cheated on her multiple times because that's not his first time doing it. She has my kids. At least we have family over here. And the side chick is what gets me in a good enough mood to come home to her anyways.
Damn.
And I can't leave her hanging like that, baby. Because then she wouldn't get my retirement. And I've already done her wrong. So guess what? I'm forever indebted to her. So I can't leave this. This is why men say, I'm not going to leave what I'm indebted to. But I can come over here and play. And oftentimes, I found that the married man be in love with the side chick.
Yeah, for sure.
In love. And has still left her every time to
Go
remain
back home.
at home. It is a very dead-end situation when a woman is attempting to take a position that ain't even up for grabs. They're just not up for grabs. It's not.
Damn.
You are this man's pacifier, and you are what this man needs to survive his marriage. You are not his promised land whatsoever. And so those kind of women are women who are extremely broken. They have parental issues. They are definitely lost in the sauce. And there is no self-love or self-value or self-worth there whatsoever. You cannot value yourself and see yourself in the position of 2 or 3. Because if he got kids, that means you 3. You can't be 1 or 2, the wife and
When
kids.
kids come.
You're number 3. So you have so much self-worth that you want to be number 3 for a trip to Bali. When women
I hear Bali
nowadays,
nice, though.
women nowadays are making so much money on their own, Shannon,
What?
that we can take ourselves to Bali.
Hold on, hold on. A married man can take a side chick to Bali? How he pull that off? Oh, hey, me and the boys going to Bali. Me and the boys going to the Maldives or the Amalfi Coast. How?
Shannon, don't you sit up here and try to follow the boy code.
No.
And I call it boy code on purpose because men don't have codes. Men are grown. The boy code. What you mean? I'm going to work to Costa Rica to check on the restaurant that we own out there for a little bit.
Oh, they got. Oh,
And end up in a whole nother country.
Oh, I don't know nothing about
Or
that.
some men, okay, let's be real. Men who can move like that have money called motion like that.
Yeah.
You can't be broke
No,
and move
absolutely
to
not.
Bali. Now, you can
Yeah.
be broke and have a couple side chicks in the hood. We're talking about going to Bali and going shopping. So usually those men have to have businesses.
Yeah.
And they're taking business trips.
Okay, I see where you're going.
And they're different places.
Okay.
So I always tell women this. If a man is trying to fly you out the country or the state that he lives in to see you or date you, he has a wife or a woman. 100%. The first place you should be going when you visit this man is to his house, his casa.
Whoa.
If it ain't in his house, there's somebody else in his house.
Whoa.
Let me tell you something. Was dating somebody, and don't ask me who, because you know him real well. So mind your business.
Okay.
Okay, don't be messy right now.
Okay.
You know him real well.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes care of his mother,
Yeah.
and so she's there often.
Mm-hmm.
My first time, him flying me to see him. He says, baby, do you want to stay here knowing mom's is here? Or would you rather us get a room somewhere else?
Yeah. You like get a room.
I said, stay there.
Huh? You can't do that with the mom in the house. You can't do that.
First of all, I'm not doing nothing my first time flying.
Oh,
out.
okay.
Because that's casual sex.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, my bad.
No.
That was very presumptuous
No.
for me. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's okay. Take it back.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought this was,
But this is my thing. It was a test on his behalf for me, but it also gave me transparency. Because he didn't just say, my mom's here, I take care of my mom, let me just put us in a room. Because I would have said no to the trip. He welcomed me to his home and gave me an option. Because he's letting me know, ain't no woman here. You more than welcome. So I came and stayed with him and mom and had a great time. A great time. And let me go further. You said, Mom, is there any grown-ass man your age taking care of your mama? She's not in the room next to you, baby. And your house better be big enough to where she in another quarter or half.
I feel bad.
But I'm just saying, do you get what I mean?
I do.
If a man is not inviting you to his home, he is not thinking about making you his home. That's just what it is. Why am I flying out the country or state to see you for the weekend or two? Fly me in when we are at your house. And after I visit at your house a couple times, we could talk about going to Florida or Miami or Costa Rica or Colombia. Until then, I don't want to take a trip with you. I'm good. Because I have to have clarity that I'm not wasting my time. See, I have money. I can spend my own.
Wow.
But I need to make sure that my time, which I don't get back, that I can't clock in or get another speaking event back, is not wasted. And I don't want to be in a situation where I've allowed you to deceive me. Because every woman knows when a man moves a certain way, her spirit does something. Women just decide to go against it because they want that trip, they want that bag, they want that experience. We have to stop wanting experiences at the expense of our dignity, at the expense of our respect, at the expense of our self-love. Absolutely not. And I also find to women, and men gonna hate this, and I'm okay with that. The more we hold off on what y'all usually want, that thing, the more y'all do anyways. The more y'all give, and the more y'all do. The only men who won't do more are the men who only want that. So if you want to vet them out anyways, sis, vet them out. And watch them show up. A man should penetrate your heart and your mind before he ever penetrates your body. Then you will really experience the true essence of an orgasm anyways. I've had men say to me, which besides the best friend, the guy I just mentioned about flying out to his home with the mom, he was one of them. If I can't marry you, I don't even want to touch your body. Now, that's a man who isn't a sucker. That's a man who is of age, a mature age, who is ready to have a wife. And he is no longer so superficial in his thinking that the best thing about a woman is her sex. He's finding value not only different in women, but watch this, in himself. Because I only get to experience the parts of you that you've already given you. And so a man who only sees value in a woman being just sex is a man who doesn't see value in himself. It is just, we are just mirrors to each other. I see value in myself. That's why casually you cannot make love to my body. Because I don't see value in casual sex. I don't see value in an orgasm without being connected to you, without being committed to you, without having access to your home or to who you are or what you do. I don't see value in that. An orgasm doesn't do it for me, but your heart does, your commitment does, your time does, right? Your thoughtfulness.
Yes.
That's what I want. Then you can take me to Bora Bora. Then we could be tearing Bora Bora up and you could be tearing me up in Bora Bora. But until then,
it ain't happening.
You're going to access me, love me, you're going to pursue me, you're going to court me, and I will do the same with you. And then by the time we do what we're doing, it will be fireworks. People are having horrible sex too, because all they doing is casually. And they're calling freaky good sex.
Yeah.
And this is why nobody, but how come sexual relationships aren't even lasting? If it's so good, why y'all not the same person for years at a time? I'm confused. Because it ain't good, it's freaky. It's something you can get anywhere you go. That's what makes it casual. When you plug into a man or a woman, and y'all are having real sensual sex that is nasty, not just freaky, you can't get that anywhere. That's a fusing.
What about nasty freaky?
You can do freaky and nasty, but as long as it's fused and connected on a deeper level than just casualty, and that means the orgasm isn't what we are thriving for, it's the act and the engagement of the sex that's orgasmic within itself. See, that's grown people talk. You kids, y'all having this little high school sex. Y'all doing that little rabbit shit still. We don't want that. We don't want that. You can keep that right over there. Right over there.
I thought the further the trip, the freakier and the nastier it got, Doc.
Listen,
That ain't how it is.
the further the trip
Yeah.
to my heart, to my safe space, to my mind, to me accessing everything, your cell phone, everything you have,
Yeah.
is the more sex we have. That's the nastier that a woman who loves herself and respects herself will get. The more that you create an environment that I can trust you in, that I am safe in, it's not about freaky. I'll never say no. About whatever as long as I have the capacity to do it and take it, I will capacity and bound with you. Wow. But I gotta be safe. I gotta have access. And there has to be transparency.
They say, I read a study that say the more educated a woman is, the freakier she is.
Facts.
I'm just saying, I read that.
Facts.
I read that in Cosmo.
The facts.
I showed it.
Shout out to Cosmo. Shout out to Cosmo.
Yeah,
Cheers, Cosmo.
Huh?
Yeah.
For real? Mm-hmm. How many degrees you say you got?
6.
Oh, my goodness.
6.
Jeez.
Lord have mercy.
Well, you got when you go fight, you got a good one.
6.
Hey, somebody, I'm just telling you, she say she ready.
Don't have them in my DMs getting shot down. They gonna be talking about boy.
Do men and women cheat differently?
They do. They do. But I'll answer that. But do we care about the different ways of cheating, or do we care about the dismantling and the impact
The
of
act
cheating?
of cheating.
Because I don't care how you did it. I'm dismantled now. My heart is broken. My safe space is scattered.
Right.
And now I have to learn to love myself different and you. Because see, if I didn't know you were a dog from the beginning, I was loving a good man. Mm-hmm. A good man eats something different, sleeps different, and I love you different. But if now I'm loving a Cane Corso, I'm feeding you different.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. I'm loving you different. Mm-hmm. And I have to become a different what? Person. So this is why cheating is so excruciating, because it's not about, people always say, can we get the trust back? The trust back is way down here after we work through all of these layers.
Right.
Can you learn to love a dog? If we're married and I cheated on you, can you learn to love a dog? Not can you trust me again? Because trusting me means you have to believe that I'm no longer the woman that cheated on you. That's deception in itself. Can you love a woman who has deceived you and has the capacity to do it again? Because whatever I've done to you, I now have the capacity.
Right.
Which means what? You now know what I'm
capable of doing.
Come on, baby. So can I love you knowing that you're capable of being a snake? Can I sleep in the bed with you knowing that you may not bark for 6 months, but in August, I might hear a rough. Oh, that's right.
That's who you were.
I'm with a dog. Mm-hmm. And now this Negro, this Cane Corso needs that steak because he already got a taste of blood. Can I do that?
Right.
If the answer is no, you have to dissipate the relationship.
Wow.
If the answer is yes, then we have to talk about what that looks like. And it's going to look different on both of you.
Yes. Because you might can forget, because this is what happens, Doc. You might forgive, but you're not going to forget. Because the first time you get mad, you probably with that beat. You probably called that, you probably did this. And now
And men cheat off of lust.
Women cheat, y'all.
We cheat oftentimes because now we're vindictive on that bullshit you did. Now let me go further. We so cold. Your homeboy.
Hey, Doc, come on.
I'm going to tell you how women work. Your homeboy that was already looking at me 5-6 years ago, who I curved because I'm a good woman.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't do you like that.
Right.
Because I was loving a good man and not a dog. Now, I said this to you earlier about Cardi being Offset.
Yeah.
I've become a product of you. That means if you're deceptive, I became a product of what?
Now you got to be deceptive, or you could be deceptive. You don't have to be. You could.
There
be.
you go. This doesn't happen with everybody, but it happens with most people, men and women. I will become a product of my environment before it becomes a product of me. My environment will change me before I change it. That's just law. So if I'm with a man who cheats long enough, it doesn't mean every woman will do it, but it does mean this. The deceptiveness in her, you can then uproot. If it's in her. If it's in her, you are going to uproot it, period. Now, whether she acts on it or not is up to her. But when a woman cheats just because she's cheating, not because of deception, it's not that we do it different. It's that the male counterparts, or for some women, they cheat with a woman. The woman counterparts seem to be able to regulate their emotions better, right, with the woman who's married, than, let's just say, women who are dealing with the married man. Because usually, remember again, the men who are sleeping with the married woman are sleeping with her for the sleeping compatibility, the sexual compatibility.
Right.
But when a woman is sleeping with the married man, she has an end goal of taking that position.
Right. Men ain't really looking like, oh, I want to be a hubby.
Because you said it earlier on. A man who's trying to be a husband, he's turned off by a married woman. Because he not trying to go behind no other man anyways.
No.
That's a man who's like, I'm just trying to swing in when I can. And that man usually already has something at home, even if it's not a wife. So that woman is already his overcompensation for what he already has. So it's a win-win for him.
Right. How do people break up? Is there such a thing as breaking up amicably? Because, sometimes, look, and I was telling someone this, I said, breaking up is easy if you're the one that want to do the breaking up.
True.
When you don't want to be broken up with, it's hard, but just move on. It's not that simple when you still want to be in this relationship. Now, if you want out, why you hit the door, and don't even look back at the door.
And sometimes when you want out, you don't hit the door and not look back. Sometimes you hit the door and because I don't want to make it seem like the person leaving also isn't experiencing some heartbreak. I've left both my fiancés. And my first fiancé, I left and I was very heartbroken leaving him. It took me almost a year and a half just to leave. And we worked through the leaving together until we both were and we're both crying in excruciating pain and tears. His parents are there trying to help us break up.
What?
Healthily. So this was in my 20s, my first fiance, but that was a very heartbreaking moment for him and I, right? It wasn't like scat and I'm good. The second fiance, it was easier for me, right? Because I was already fed up and wanted out and knew that, I started to dislike him as a person. That's what made it easier to leave.
Yes.
Right? I liked his covering of me, but I started to not like him as a man. So that's easier to leave someone because you're like, I'm just turned off, right?
Yeah.
The first one was like, you're just a dope ass man. And leaving you is challenging. And if you could be a provider and didn't have certain conditions that I'm not going to share about him, right? Because I'm going to protect his privacy. Then this relationship could be absolutely amazing. So that was challenging to leave. So I just wanted people to know that there are folks who are leaving who are bleeding while they leave too. And they're not running out the door saying, oh, I'm out, I'm free now. That is a coping mechanism. That is a mask and it's fake.
Right.
Everybody leaving who is doing the departing is feeling
something.
They're feeling the detachment.
It might not be the one, it might not be to the extent of the one that's getting left, but they feel something.
They feel something.
Have you, I think there was a situation Offset was in your DM. Have you revealed anybody else that's ever been in your DM? You put anybody on blast?
I love that you said that. Offset was in my DM, and he just posed a question that said, hey, maybe you can help me with something. He didn't say what it was.
Right.
That's all he said.
Right.
And because he never followed through.
Right.
I never followed through. We never did a session. He was never my client.
Right.
When I shared that on Jason Lee's show, that was not a
he was trying to slide.
It was not a breach of confidentiality, first of all, because he was not and is not my client.
Right.
So it was no breach. And he did not slide in my DMs asking for anything that had to do with me. It was very specific to hey, maybe you can help me with something. He
Right.
never said what.
Right.
And so when I said that, I was saying that to more use Offset as an example because again, he's not my client, so that's not a breach of confidentiality. To say, listen, other black men, being that Offset has a following, he's a rapper, he's in the limelight, he's attached to Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
Asking for help is powerful.
Right.
You can slide in a DM to ask for help. It doesn't have to be to ask for something else.
Yeah.
And the fact that he did the appropriate thing,
Right.
and my intention was to give him props. Now, the internet took it and made it something else.
You tried to put him on
And
blast.
I was trying to say, listen, this man, with all of his bad decision making, we're going to call it what it is. In that one moment, he
did the right
he
thing.
made a right damn decision. And I was giving him his flowers, and the internet took it as, this is her client. I ain't telling shit. He's not my client.
Right.
Neither one of us followed up. And that's just what it was. It was more saying he did the right thing in that moment. And no matter how many wrong decisions you've made, it's okay to make a right one,
Right.
even if it's 1 out of 2,000, because that one right one could be the one decision that changes your life or saves your life.
Right.
That's it.
Would you respond to a guy in your DM? Would you go out with somebody in your DM?
Would I?
You have.
I have.
I know you have.
I have. We went on a nice date, actually.
Okay.
He is a fine young. He was younger than me too. Then boy. Oh, okay, I'm back. Woo. Yeah, it was nice. We went on a nice date.
Just one time, that was it?
We went on one date because I'm busy. He's busy.
Nah, it don't matter. Bees are busy. People can find time when it's something they want to
Yeah.
find time. That's what you just told me.
Yeah.
Did she just tell me that? Thank you.
Yeah.
Your friend and your sister told me that's what you just told me.
Yeah, no, he was in season.
Oh, you like athletes, huh? Still do. Because you told me you like athletes when you were younger.
My ex-fiance is a retired basketball player.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, but it's not just liking. I work out, I like men who work. So it's just more of an
You like
attraction.
what you like.
No,
you
it's an
think
attraction.
you think the
But I
Baltimore-
want to say this.
What?
I don't walk into a room and say, I want an athlete. Those are the only guys
That's
I want.
what you attract.
That's what I attract, but also that's what I'm attracted to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you think the moth want to fly into the flame? It can't help what it's attracted
There you
to.
go. So I am attracted to athletic men.
Yeah, they work out like,
Men.
ooh, this big old. Oh,
However,
he probably could pick me up. And I can, the things he can do.
He can pick me up. However, you know what I liked about my ex-fiance was
What'd you
that
like
he was
about him?
retired. Because I like time with my man.
Yeah.
And so there have been, men who have attempted to date me who are still in season.
Yeah.
And I could be supportive in that,
Yeah.
but that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's taken away from us.
Yeah.
For a woman like me, and I'm also busy. So
Yeah.
anyways, the young man was great. We still talk. We're still good friends. We're still good friends because it was something very short-lived and casual. But yes.
It is something that can be,
I think he's too young for me, not in number,
Okay.
but in mindset.
Mindset.
Sweet guy, but just too young for me in mindset.
But you did work publicly with Ray J, right?
I do.
How
I did. Mhm.
You did. How was Ray
I still
J?
do. I love Ray. Yeah,
We've had Ray J on. I had Ray J on the show.
I know.
Why you say it like that?
Cause Ray's my guy. Like me and Ray, I love Ray. Ray has been with me for a long time. And Ray is just a person who is who he is.
Yes.
Right. And that comes with a lot of misunderstanding.
Yes.
But I always say this, and I've said it to, just people and even my assistant and best friend here, that when you build a relationship with Ray, you start to get a clear understanding why the people who love him love him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just that genuine of a person.
Mm.
And with whatever tactics he has and that he does, Ray's the type of man that when you are his person, like meaning someone he loves as a friend or
Yeah.
family, or me being his psychologist, his doctor, he's loyal.
Mm-hmm.
And that man, he will turn a table over for you. Ray will move a mountain for you. And it's because he loves so hard, honestly, and because he's so into that, I feel like sometimes the way that he shows it comes out very different than folks want to see it. And I just think that's what it boils down to. So, I just love Ray. I have nothing but love for him.
Where are you on prenups? You good with a prenup?
Me giving it or me signing it?
Both. You got assets you want to protect.
I'm not signing a prenup.
You not?
No. Now, will I have one drafted? Maybe. But I'm not signing one.
Why?
Well, why would I?
I mean, I just think, look, even before I used to tell my homeboys, I say, y'all got a prenup. They say, Sharpe, we ain't got nothing. Mm-hmm. I say, so when you leave, you keep all your nothing. You don't want half of your nothing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, look, I get it. If we get to a relationship, mm-hmm. okay, I got X. Mm-hmm. We get into this relationship and I get YZ. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm cool with that. But you're not finna get X. I had X before I met you.
So, a prenup that would be appropriate for me would be a prenup that lines out. If I stepped out and performed infidelity, mm-hmm. this is the amount that will be paid out. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be pennies.
Okay.
If we were to divorce amicably, mm-hmm. right, which I don't believe in that.
Right.
So I'm never leaving unless, like the Bible says, two things that are permissible to leave, which is infidelity and unfaithfulness. Mm-hmm. That's it, right? Otherwise, I'm not leaving. So we're going to work through everything else.
I thought death.
Well, death do your part, but you're still married in the covenant, you know?
Oh, okay.
But so if the prenup said if we were to divorce, then, like you said, right, there's X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Okay, Doc, you get Y and Z. You know, and maybe not X, but Y and Z is something that
we could split.
No. We're not. What do you mean splitting? No. I'm not splitting.
Hello.
I'm talking about on the prenup. You're gonna be lining out what exactly goes to me being your wife.
Right.
For sticking by your ass, submitting, loving, making love, not denying, and pouring into you, because I'm gonna give you everything I got. I'm gonna flip this whole table for you.
Everything?
Okay? Everything.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say no unless I don't have the bandwidth for it. Okay. Then it's just that I don't have the capacity.
Right.
So in that prenup, you're going to draw out, if I cheat,
right,
this is the amount that you get. And it's going to be a large ass amount so that my heartbreak don't also feel broken in my pockets. One. Number two,
okay,
if you got X, Y, and Z, it's going to be lined out. That, let's just say X is $20 million
right.
of a property. I don't mind if you say, hey, then Doc gets 10 million of this one, and then of Z, Doc gonna get her 7 million, but it's gonna be lined out clear on what I'm agreeing to. There will be no prenup that says if we divorce, you get nothing. We don't marry. Okay. I'm not signing up for that. That is, to me, a woman who would sign up for that, I just feel like it's not that she's in it for love. I feel like she's been misguided.
Okay.
And again, I had a father, so my dad would turn in his grave if I signed up for that. And he would turn in his grave if I didn't get a prenup.
Right.
So I would have a prenup that said, hey, baby, you know, this is my stuff. And I couldn't see a man who is a man's man like you said you are, like my father was, who would have a problem with signing a prenup with me that said, I built all this, this is mine. I just don't see a man's man wanting that from me or from a woman, per se. I just don't see that. I see now a different kind of man, you know, maybe saying, I want, but no, I wouldn't even marry that type of guy.
When you see these, and this, you let me know what you think. I think like when you date publicly, you married publicly, and you outward with your relationship, when it ends, you know it's going to be public. We see Cardi being Offset. We see, I think Candy Burris just filed from a divorce, and you know, it's starting to make its round. Where are you on public dating, public marriage? I mean, I just think there's a lot of things that can be handled if it wasn't so public. Mm-hmm. Like if we get into, you know, something might have happened, we might can handle it behind the scenes. But once it gets out into this public sphere, everybody got an opinion. You're listening. Your family's listening. He's listening. His family, his homeboy, your homegirls. It's hard to put that thing back together, Doc.
Yeah. So I don't believe in public for myself until we're locked in married.
Right.
Or maybe possibly even a ring on my finger, but I want to say married. I've been single, I say, meaning not out of my last engagement that I called off my wedding for like nine-ish years. I don't want to time stamp, but it's been some years.
Yeah.
But in between that, I have dated, public figures like myself. Mm-hmm. And one thing I pride myself on is I do a really great job of keeping myself private.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who I dated. The gentleman that I brought up, that I said you know him well, he is extremely high profile and a public figure. And we weren't hiding it, but we just weren't being public with it, right? And so we went to restaurants and went out and people screamed his name or my name and it just was what it was. And somebody would have got a photo, we didn't care. But I do a good job of being private. I think that the privacy piece is needed because, to your point, had I been public with everyone I'm dating,
Right.
then I would have been having to delete or explain, multiple relationships when really nothing is serious, in my opinion, if you're in a season of dating or even in a season of being committed as boyfriend and girlfriend. Until you are married with the covenant of God, I feel like there really isn't anything that you should allow people to be privy on.
Right.
Because you have a relationship, but to me, you really don't have any substance of value yet.
Right.
Until you enter into that next covenant. So for me, nobody will be ever public on my page or on my platform until it is my husband. And I haven't really had people to have an issue with that. I mean, you got some people that kind of feel like, why are you hiding me? And I explain it's not the hiding. It's one, the field I'm in. And two, the last person on my page was my fiance with the ring on my finger. Until then, I'm not doing it. What about you? You don't, I mean, well.
There you go.
I mean, do you go have you been public with?
No,
you
I
ain't
don't.
with nobody. So to the public, you've never had a woman.
Nope.
Oh.
Which leads to speculation. I have.
Well, we know that you have.
Oh,
you have done sexual things with women.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
We heard.
Dog, come on, dog. I need another year. Give me one more year.
No, I'm talking about we heard.
I'm saying I need another year from that. That's been a year ago. So we 2 years. Got to get 2 years grace. You can't. Yeah, statute of limitations still on it.
Okay. So we didn't hear nothing.
Nothing.
You know.
Nothing.
Shit. The backstrokes was good. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Another guy that's been in the media a lot lately is Brian McKnight in this situation. I guess he went on somebody's pod and said some things about Mark Lamont Hill. Mark Lamont Hill fired back and says, I've interviewed you several times and you weren't nasty to me, but you were nastier people on the set, so forth and so on. And then I guess, what did he do? He had a son, Brian McKnight Jr., but he had another son recently, named him, and then took the son's name. So there's supposed to be like, he's Brian McKnight Sr. He had a Brian McKnight Jr., so he named his son Brian, gave him a middle name, and then took the name from the son.
But for what? What was the point?
That's what people tried to figure out.
What was the benefit of that?
I guess he's really trying to remove himself from the past. I mean, he was talking about his sons and that he's done all he could do. I don't know. It's just maybe you need to talk to him.
Wait,
maybe you need to have him on your podcast.
Biological son?
Yes.
That he is trying to disconnect from?
They're older. I think one's probably almost 30.
But this is his biological son.
Yes.
And he wants no dealings with him.
I guess they had a falling out about something.
But see, that's what I mean by some things are not privy to be public.
Yeah.
I think that is a conversation between a father and a son.
Yeah.
Because if we want to be realistic about family and parenting, there are some times where a parent and child can go a week or two or sometimes months without speaking because of whatever that parent may feel needs to be done based on consequences for that child to feel.
Right.
I'm not saying Brian's right or wrong.
Right.
But those are things that should stay private. Right. Now, if he feels like he has to pull back because something his son has done as a parent, and that is going to be for the benefit of his son, I see nothing wrong with that. But if he's doing it because he's saying, I don't want to have any type of involvement with you as my biological baby and my bloodline, I think that's something that needs to be
I think it's odd, though, that you have a junior, but then you have another son and name him and give him a different middle name than what you gave the other son, and then end up taking the new son's. It's not, I just think that's...
it seems off. But I also remember, we don't know people's motives and what is in.
And he said he was never in love with his ex-wife.
But what the hell does that have to do with the child?
I guess because unlike your mom and dad that said you was conceived out of love.
Because I was going to say something. You know what? I also have found most of the time that father loves that child at the level that he loves the mother of that child. And you can see the difference in those relationships. And if y'all don't believe me, take some inventory. A lot of times when that father really loves that mother, that child gets a different type of relationship and love from that father. it's just been proven. And it's unfortunate, but you just said it here with B. McKnight, that, I wasn't in love with the mom. And so he automatically feels some type of detachment from that child, and it's showing. And it's unfortunate, right?
Look, they're not the first family. I just hate when it becomes public, because people are going to look at him a different way and I just hate when private matters become public.
Yeah. And then the public makes it worse, I feel like, because then it makes people take on a public TV personality.
Yes.
And you start to behave in ways that aren't even your true authentic self, right? And so it's like, and then you feel like you have to respond, which you don't.
Right.
Because it's no one's business.
Correct.
Especially when it comes to kids and family.
Yeah.
You don't owe anybody
an explanation
when it comes to your child.
You still want to have kids, Doc?
I do. I am.
How many?
Now listen, it was 4 a while ago. I think I'm maybe down to 2. Because if I can do twins, if I could, don't knock on my door.
That's a clock. That's a clock. That's a clock ticking. What you waiting on? Oh, you don't. I don't want to get personal, but you froze your egg.
I'm still bleeding, and I'm not in perimenopause.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not in perimenopause. My period comes. My menstrual comes every 28 days, on time. On time.
No, you could have just said, you know what? Yeah, I froze my eggs.
Shannon, on time. That thing.
Like clockwork, huh?
Like that. Like, do that again. Like that. On time. Ain't no perimenopause over here. Ain't nothing dried up over here.
But how long are you willing to wait? Doc, look.
So
you look 22.
So I said earlier this year that I was now my choosing stage. And so I literally said, okay, I'm now going to choose, because I liked my space and my season of like building my career, coming out of calling off my wedding, and I was very honest with guys. I never said, manipulated and was like, oh, we dating to get married. No, I was very honest about, we're dating, spending time, but this is what I'm focused on.
Right.
And that focus paid off. And so I am now in a place that I told myself when I was a younger woman, I want to be here before I do that.
Right.
And
you're here now.
I'm here now. And this is the thing. I'm not saying this from a place of bragging or trying to, from arrogance, but from a place of humility. I think if more men and women map out their life. Life is going to life. Now, it ain't going to come out perfect. But if you say, I want to reach these milestones before I do this, I feel like you have a better chance and better odds of success at family and at career and business versus just letting life give you whatever crumbs it gives you, because it's already given the people like me who are asking and curating what we want. So you get the crumbs that we said no to.
Right.
Don't do that.
Right.
But now, it's only been probably about 6 months since I said, okay, God, I'm ready. I took my IUD out. I'm in my choosing stage. I'm ready to rock and roll.
You took it out.
I took it out. Gone. Out. The doctor, I said, show it to me. Doctor, show it to me. I was like,
hey, guys, be careful. She say she still have a cycle, and
they ain't got to be careful. It would be an excellent investment, but it can't be casual.
Be careful, guys.
I'm just saying. You need to tell me to be careful, because the way these men are set up, they worse than women. A man,
they try to trap you?
A man to try to put a baby in a woman who's successful, especially no kids and beautiful. Shannon, you act like you stay on one house on the block. Stop acting like that. You're a man and you know men.
Yes.
Let me tell you, and it's not just broke men that do it. You got men who are well off who go, beautiful, no kids, look like she's 25. Can't wait to put one in you real quick. And a lot of times it be the men who already have the damn kids.
Yeah.
Who are saying, but you who I want to be stuck with.
That'll keep an attachment to you.
Hello. And this is why I'm not into casual sex. Especially now that my IUD out. Ain't nothing coming through casual. You hear me?
Right.
Nothing. Yeah, but I'm excited and I can't wait. And I'm hoping that it happens, by next year. And I can be on tour with my little belly and happy or happier, I should say, because I'm very happy.
You happy right now?
And I think that's it too. When you wait and you find what I call God's peace, and you're real happy, people are not in competition with your desperation. They are not now in competition with the healthy self of you, which means your choosing becomes a little more slim,
right?
But your relationships become a lot more prosperous than you choosing from a place of like, I'm young, there's a clock. But I mean, you do look at Abraham and Sarah in the Bible.
Yeah.
God kept his promise. And because Sarah jumped the gun and said, get Hagar, the maid, pregnant because I don't believe God to deliver his promises. Hagar got pregnant and had Abraham's first son. And then as soon as she got pregnant, guess who got pregnant? Sarah. And Sarah told Abraham, she got to go. And Abraham said, baby, you got to go. Just for Hagar, the maid, to come back. And now they in a house that's now a broken home because Sarah, not Abraham, he just listened to his wife, said, baby, God's taking too long. Get the maid pregnant. And as soon as Sarah got God's promise that he never, ever pulls back from and never returns void, guess what? She wanted her gone. So you're not going to see me being a Sarah who says, let me jump the gun and take over God's timing. And then I end up choosing a man with kids, or I end up jumping the gun with some other man when God said, it was probably only going to be about 6 more months, baby. It might have only been another year. But you already in a good place. You already happy. You can't wait on me.
How many men should a woman entertain? She ain't been locked down. How many? 1, 2?
Entertain meaning date?
Yeah.
So I don't condone a woman having sex with multiple men, but I do want to say, y'all, do what you do. You grown. That doesn't mean I'm judging you. But as far as dating and getting to know, I think a woman should entertain as many men as she wants in the dating space. Yeah. Dating means we're going on dates. We're not exclusive, and I'm getting to know you. And I don't know if I like you. I don't know if I like this man yet. I think women should do. Now, me, I tend to go on dates or talk, right, to maybe 1 or 2. But once I find that you have my attention, it's just challenging for me to.
So you tell the other
not
one,
lock in with just you.
You tell her, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to.
Or I just don't,
You ghosted?
No, you don't ghost, but people, so there's.
You starting to pull back.
Yeah, there's a different sequence when you're not locked in, where you may talk once in a while and you kind of know what's going on, or like when I text Shannon, he texts back sometimes, but if it's like every day we talking, then you got to have that conversation.
Right.
But I like exclusivity, so even if we're just dating and we're locking in, I like it. I like a we thing. I like a us thing. I don't like anyone outside of you or me until we decide either we're not going through with this or we are. I don't like scattered energy.
Okay.
That feels safe for me. And then again, I'm not into casual sex. So if my spirit feels like you're not fully here, then I'm not turned on to be intimate with you. Not even just sexually intimate, but intimate with our conversations or with my time.
Right. Is it true that you terminated a pregnancy as a teen?
I terminated 2 pregnancies as a teenager. And yeah, my father played a big role in that.
Because the women wanted you to keep the children.
Yep.
So
Shannon done did his homework on the doc, y'all. This man get an A+++++.
Did those pregnancies early on, has that shaped how you think now?
It has. But it wasn't because I terminated them. It was because I had a covering, which was my father, because my mother and grandmother were crying, saying, keep it. Yeah. And my father was saying, not on my watch. And I leaned more with my father's choice because nobody was forcing me with his choice. And his exact words were, you may hate me now, but you'll thank me later. And when I got in college, I think my sophomore year, I called him. I said, Daddy, thank you. And he said, for what? And I said, because you made the right decision for me. And so for me, it more shaped my trust in men who can lead because he led me into a promised land, right? That allowed me, and I always say this, that allowed me to beat the odds. Didn't mean the odds didn't come against me because they did.
Right.
It allowed me to beat the odds. It allowed me to not be a statistic. It doesn't mean women who have kids already or who kept yours and didn't terminate that you're bad because you're a statistic. But if we gonna speak real, you are a statistic if you are a little girl from the hood and you end up pregnant as a teenager. That's called teenage pregnancy.
Right.
And my father allowed me to beat odds that were against me.
How did you, were you nervous? Were you not nervous to tell your father that you were pregnant?
Well.
Feel like because you the apple in his eye. And his little girl that he adores, that he loves so much, is expecting. And it's not the first, not the, the one time, okay, baby, that's an accident. Accident can happen, but then it happened again. Were you afraid to tell it? Were you ashamed? What were some of the emotions that you felt as a teenager?
I love that question. So my parents, and my father in particular, he's not a shame you type of father.
Okay.
He's a very, if you love me, I'll love you more. If you're honest with me, you'll get more out of me.
Okay.
And so I knew he wouldn't be ashamed of me, but I did know that he was going to keep it 100% real with me. And I knew that what he's seen was me becoming a product of him and my mother, and me becoming a product of the woman that he made a product of him, which is a baby mama and a baby daddy. And because he knew the pain, the heartbreak that those women experienced, he couldn't see his little girl having that same experience. And so for him, again, he was crucifying who he was to tee up what was best for me. And that is what a parent does. That is what a great father does. And I got to go a little further. Not only did he say this is the decision that you need to make, but he was the first, along my parents' face, the last face I seen walking in to termination. And they were the first faces I seen walking out. And my dad took me to eat after, and baby, how do you feel? Are you okay? What's the plan moving forward? So he didn't just tell me the decision. He was there with me.
He walked you through everything.
He held my hand through it. And when I walked out, I got to see that man's face. And I asked, could the boyfriend, because it was my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Did you tell him?
Yeah, the boyfriend knew. I asked, could he come? Because we were in a relationship.
Yeah.
This wasn't a
And your
fling.
dad said
We were
no.
together all through, for years. My dad said, do you want him dead? I said, well, then no, I guess he can't come. But I had to give that to my dad. I mean, he was a father. He's not trying to be next to this dude who is even touching his daughter's body. So
it's one thing to think about it, but now you in here, I got to send you here. I already know what he's been doing.
Yeah. And my dad, again, we had an open relationship where I can talk to him about anything. And so his support in that is what allows me to be the submissive, loving, trusting woman of you men. And that's why I don't have I'm not going to submit to you. What can you do for me? I love submitting to you. And that comes from a little girl who had a father who submitted to me.
Right.
And through his submission to me, he taught me the value, right, and the beauty of submission.
Wow.
And had he not did that as a man, I probably would have used submission differently. And he also would have me do acts for him, like make his plate or make his drink. That taught me how to submit to a man.
Right.
And when his drink got low, I would watch, as a little girl I would watch, and I'd be like, Daddy, you want more? And he'd be like, yeah, baby, go on and get me some more. And I knew 2 ice cubes. I knew how much Jack and how much Coke.
Right.
I knew when his plate got low on food, it was a re-up or a throwaway. There's just things I knew when he was emotionally not in the right place. And he taught me, because being a man in my presence, I knew how to say, Daddy, it's okay if it's financial. We'll be all right. Or is there something you need me to do? So this is why men are so important, man, just in women's life and in their boys' life, because he taught me how to navigate through a man's emotions. He taught me how to identify when those emotions are off kilter. And he also taught me what he needed to be said as a daughter. And so when my fiance had an issue, my last one, and he just sitting on the couch with ESPN and them top 10 plays, ESPN.
Yeah, over and over.
I sat on the couch right here, literally, and I sat here, and I just put my hand on him. I said, and he ain't look at me. I said, baby, I don't know what it is, but I want you to know, whatever it is, even if it's financial, I'm not leaving you, and I love you, and we'll get through it. And he was looking how you looking, and I'm sitting here, he did this, and tears just rolled by. In that moment, I was a product of my father teaching me what a man needs. When women don't get that, we don't know how to navigate that. And a woman who doesn't get that can easily take that as that man is disconnected from her. And she can start to ask him egocentric questions like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
What did I do? Why are you not telling me? Why aren't you talking to me? I knew in that moment there was nothing that man wanted to say to me or anybody.
Right.
He was having a moment. And all I needed to do was reassure him that I'm not going nowhere. You're not going to lose your woman and whatever else you just lost. And whatever I have to do
to hold it together,
I am going to rise to that occasion to make sure that we are good. That's why that man felt so good about taking care of me. That right there. Because he knew the value of who we had.
How different do you believe your life would have been had you not terminated those pregnancies? Would Cheyenne Bryant be sitting right here today with all these advanced degrees, with all this popularity and fame and all this money? Would you have been the same person?
I would have been a different woman.
Yes.
But I would have still went and got that shit. Because I'm built like that. I may have even went and got more. I'm just saying because I had 2 little ones to feed. But I will say this. I would have married much earlier.
Yeah.
Because I would have took one for the team. And I would have made sure that my babies had a home that was complete.
Yeah.
And so who I would have married, it wouldn't have been the teenage boyfriends. Because teenage boyfriends don't last.
You'd have done had your photo. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You might have been 5 or 6.
That's the thing. It would have forced me to make a decision quicker than I wanted to.
Yes.
And I would have chose what was best for them
Right
and
then,
us,
instead of like the long.
and not for me. This is where I tell women the leverage of waiting is and the power is. Right now, I am in the pit of my power, not in my biological clock, because I am choosing for me and obviously for my babies,
Right.
secondary, who are not here yet.
Right.
But I'm choosing a husband with just me.
Right.
And that's it. And I can choose to be a mother or not to at any point in time.
Right.
That's power. And I'm now choosing from a place of wisdom, not just experience. Forget accolades and degrees. I'm choosing from a place of my healthy me, from a place of being a woman who has experienced relationships. And my husband now gets to get a grown-ass woman who's processed through her stuff and still got a lot more because ain't nobody perfect. Not a little girl who's trying to figure out who the hell she is and where does she land. Those are 2 different people.
Right.
2 different people. Now, would I still wear his ass out if need be? Yes. But the little girl would have told him a whole new one.
Right.
You don't want her.
Right.
You don't want her.
What about sex and arguments, sex after arguments? Yeah, no.
So, again, I keep saying this disclaimer just because it's for me personally, all right? Ladies, I want y'all to casual sex all you want for the grown folks. Sex after an argument and we're together,
Yeah.
it needs to happen as quick as it can. Because I'm a love bug. So I don't like to be disconnected from you. I don't want to be in a negative space with
Now
you.
you try to make me feel. You try to make me forget what we argued about.
That's fine too. But I need you to love me how? Like this. Okay? Like that. Like that. So if we arguing, we like this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
You want to be up close.
No, I need skin to skin. I want you in my skin. Let me tell you something. You see that zipper you got?
Yes.
I'm the type of woman. I want you to unzip it. I want to hop in it. And you know what I want you to do?
What? Zip it up.
And I'll be in there just like this. And then when we have to depart, I didn't say want to. Have to.
Yeah.
You can unzip it. Not for a shower, because you can get in with me.
Yeah.
We're not talking about me doing things like
No, y'all water be too hot. Y'all be cooking lobster and crab in that hot ass water.
And I'm even talking about just an intimate shower. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about we have to do all the do. Just get in the shower.
No. That nobody get to know. I'm at the back. It's cold back there.
See, that's your selfish ass. Look at your selfish ass. See?
No.
Look at you. Stand in the cold for a minute because your woman want a damn shower, Shannon. Take one for the team. We're
Okay.
switched.
Okay.
And then when we get out, we cuddle.
That ain't what I was thinking about though. But okay.
Cuddling comes with the lovemaking you're
Yeah.
talking about. Yes. Yes. But
see-
you have to start involving your heart
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
so that it ain't just sexual.
Yeah.
See,
I'm gonna do that.
you ain't ready yet. We need more sessions. We need more sessions.
You see that study that came out? Sex before work leads to better productivity.
I agree with that. I think that I could see that. That means morning sex for the most part.
Yeah, that's exactly what that means.
Now, what I will say is this. Women, I'm finna advocate for y'all, okay? I got you. I've been listening. This ain't for me, but it's for y'all. If y'all could roll over, assume the position, get it in, do your thing, and get up out, more women would say yes. Not every woman, which I am this woman, I don't mind the full act of sex in the morning, right? Because I am a sexual person
Yeah.
with who I'm with.
Right.
So I like the act.
Right.
It's not just that. But a lot of women are like, I gotta go to work too, buddy. So can you roll over, not expect me to do a full production,
Yeah.
and get your shit.
So you know the
That's
quickie.
why you laughing.
A
And
quickie.
then get on with your day.
You look quickie, huh?
Most women do.
Y'all like
Yeah.
quickies?
Most women, I'm saying.
No,
I
they don't. Keep talking. Nope. I thought, well, who that? Missy Ellis said, I don't want no 1 minute, no 1 minute man.
But it's gonna take you more than 1 minute to roll over and do your thing.
Nah, in the morning. Never mind.
Oh, but there you go. See, then you the perfect match for a lot of women. Because when I'm in session, most of my wives are saying, I don't mind it in the morning, but I got work too, and he's taking too long. Now, the women who are saying,
Start earlier.
the women who they don't want to work early because that sleep is what they need because they got to go to work and come home and also be mothers and be a wife to your ass. So there has to be some type of compassion for the fact that I'm already letting you
I got
have
the
it.
kid this afternoon.
Can you shit? Please.
I got the kid this
That's
afternoon.
what y'all say. Then y'all fall asleep and we have to feed their asses because you coming up short.
The biggest difference between Dr. Cheyenne Bryant in her 20s and her 40s.
Whew. I knew you was gonna come with a good question. You so good. You so good at what you do. 20-year-old Cheyenne. Straight shooter.
I can see that. Still are, though.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you different. Straight shooter. But probably bullets flying at everybody. Mm-hmm. Right? 40-year-old Cheyenne, straight shooter, knows her target. 20-year-old Cheyenne, outspoken. Because she has a message that she wants to land, and she's not really considerate or compassionate about who it lands on, or how it lands, I should say. 40-year-old Cheyenne, aware and very calculated on her message, the delivery,
Packaging is much better now.
and how it impacts you. Because I want to make sure the impact is coming from my true intention.
Wow.
20-year-old Cheyenne was a lot more conservative than I am at 40. You think I'm big on no casual sex now? Whew, I was very relational, but I also had a fiance my whole time, right? And I was less emotionally regulated then. So I could be a lot more fiery and dominant in my relationships. And in my 20s, my submission hadn't peaked yet.
Right.
And then in my 30s was when I was with my ex-fiance, who took care of me, and my submission fully peaked. And so in my 40s, I am very emotionally regulated. My emotional intelligence is extremely high. And I am, extremely submissive. And it's not submissive because I'm waiting for you to create an environment. I'm submissive because that's who I am internally, innately as a woman, right? And so it's nothing you can do to make me not submit. It's just if I can't submit with you, I probably won't choose you.
Wow.
Because I got to be with who I can be soft and submit to.
Right.
And so, lastly, the 20-year-old Cheyenne, I was the nest. And that's probably why I ended up with the guy who made money but wasn't the breadwinner, because I was the nest. And equally yoked means he can't be the nest too. Now I'm a nester. So I am nesting in you. And it's not that I'm waiting to see if you're a nest. I'm nesting in you. Wow. Because that's just my position. Now, if you consume that role or not, it's up to you. But I'm nesting in you. And it's soft and it's safe. And lastly, one thing that's in common, though, 20-year-old Cheyenne and 40-year-old Cheyenne was never looking for a safe space. I already knew very early on that I was that safe space. And so I bring that with me everywhere I go. And so, yes, I want you to add to that, right? And don't attempt to dismantle it because it's mine, so you can't. But I don't need you to come in and I'm sitting here in fear until you create this space that I can nest in. That's not how it works at my age.
Now, the man that's going to make a home, create a family, same age, a little younger, a little older.
Because I want a man who doesn't have children yet. He would probably need to be about my age or younger. But I haven't had a problem with meeting men with no kids. I always say people's limited thinking is what gets in their way. Right. And so if you think there are no men with no kids, then you're right. I happen to know that I'm not looking for men with kids. I'm not polyamorous. I only need one. And if anyone is going to tell me that one man
there ain't one man out there in this
with
world
no kids who does well and he's a great human
between the ages of 38 and 45. That's only 38 and 45. That's what you're looking for.
Get the f*** out here. Yeah, that's crazy. That's like saying one person ain't going to buy I ain't gonna like this. That's crazy. We know you're looking for a lot, but we're talking about one.
Yes.
So, yeah, and I don't mind even like 35, 36, as long as the maturity is there.
Yeah.
You know, and because I've learned in, you know, a lot of these younger men in that 35-ish range, even a little younger than 30, they are a lot more mature than a lot of these men who are 45 and up.
Yeah.
They're not stuck in their ways.
Yeah,
they are very flexible. They open doors. They know how to date. They are actually hunters like men used to be.
Yeah.
They're calling, they're texting, they're love bugs. They want to get married. They're all
They ain't like the old school. That we the old guard. We the hunters.
Yeah, and let me say this. Not only women, but men in their 30s are the new generation that don't have baby mamas. You'll be surprised at how not thirsty for sex and women these younger men are. Meaning like they are literally saying, if we can't date or if we can't have some type of out of the bed romance, I'm turned off.
Right.
There's so many young men who are like, women are just throwing the pussy at me. Versus back in the day, it was men were chasing the cat.
Yes.
And that's a turn on for me. And you have the older men who are just kind of like, look, it's kind of like you're saying,
what
I'm
you see is what
working,
you
I'm
get.
doing me,
Yeah.
what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And I definitely want the intimacy as far as sex with you, but I'm not sure if I can commit. I'm not sure if my old ways will allow me to maneuver or to transform into what's needed for a relationship. And you're finding, studies have shown, the older woman and younger guy is having the higher success rate when it comes to a healthy marriage and happiness.
I beg your pardon?
The older women and younger men. They're finding that success rate has actually outdid the older man and younger woman.
Oh, really?
And think about it, Shannon, though, us older women, we actually keep ourselves up a lot better than the generation of older women did
Yeah, for sure.
prior to
For
us,
sure,
right?
yeah,
And so we are working out. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, there's other augmentations that can be done. I'm
Yeah.
not knocking nobody that women are willing to do. The self-care is there.
Yeah.
Women are taking care of their skin. I mean, it's a whole nother world for women right now in the sense of how they keep themselves up. And so there is no competition for us when it comes to young women because we really are those women, like that 35 to 45. And I've even seen women at 55 where I'm like,
Yeah.
sis,
I seen them.
what are you doing? And
What?
Tracee Ellis is one of them.
Oh, man.
Most of the women who are gorgeous and still doing their thing and have that glow, they ain't been married and they don't have no kids. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We out here glowing.
It's, yeah,
and
yeah, it's a lot of y'all out there.
not stressed out.
Yeah.
Very sexual, very happy, very loving, very rich, very well taken care of. Having our way. Very happy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there's not happy marriages, because there
Yeah,
are.
for sure.
But when you choose from that place,
Yeah.
you calibrate like-minded, like vibrational energy. You're less likely to get somebody who is not happy, who's not healthy. You repel a man who's out there womanizing and doing certain things because that man also knows he can't sustain that quality of woman.
Do you think men are lonely?
I think men and women are lonely. I think both are. I think that, again, we are in an over-sexualized culture right now. And sex satisfies the flesh, like it's been doing you. It doesn't satisfy the heart. Our satisfaction comes from the heart. The heart already knows what you want. Half of us just are too afraid to let it have that because we don't know how to navigate it at the mind, intellectual space. But the heart is saying, but that right there is going to make me fully complete, fully satisfied.
Well,
So yeah, I think people are just lonely. I think because folks are operating from this transactional space and everything is transactional, it's either sex or, a bag or prostitution or not. And there's no relational things happening. And I think relational experiences is what really makes the heart full.
Michelle Obama, former First Lady Michelle Obama,
course.
said, America's not ready for a woman president just yet. So get out my face.
Yeah, I heard it.
Do you think America's ready for a woman's president?
I don't think it matters what America's ready for. America thought they were ready for Trump. And obviously we were very unprepared and ready for this type of leadership.
Right.
I think what America needs is a little younger leadership. I'm not saying 20 or 30. I'm just saying younger than like Biden or Trump, right? Even if it's the 40 to 50-ish range. It could be male or female.
Because Bill Clinton is younger than both of the last presidents, and he was president 25 years ago.
Right. And Obama was one of our youngest presidents.
Yes.
And so, but I think for the right woman, yes. And it could not be Michelle, but I love Michelle. But I think that what we do need is a change in leadership, and a woman would be a great change in leadership. And I do think that a woman leading doesn't mean that the leadership will be soft or the leadership will be less led. I think that for the first time in history, that leadership will be different than what we had. And if there is any time but now where we need different, this is the time.
Well, at this current time, anybody can be president. There's not a political office that you can't hold. No matter whether you think you're qualified, whether you're black, whatever your political affiliation is, what we've seen is that. Let me ask you this, because I've always, because she's caught a lot of criticism online, and I want to hear your expertise on what she's trying to say. Aisha Curry, because when she says that, man, I didn't really see myself as a wife. I was like, in this career, I'm going to be this entrepreneur. I'm going to be this. I don't think she's saying she don't want to be married. She's upset that she married Steph Curry and has this beautiful family. But what can you deduce from what she's trying to say?
What I heard, which is exactly what you said, nothing more or less. I just heard her. I heard her being a woman with a voice, and it's kind of when you said, "How come women can have preference but men can't?" Right? From your experience in the world, and I can see that. I don't believe that to be true for me, but I can see that perspective societally with the constructs. When a woman speaks out against the societal norms of a woman being domesticated or being a wife or being a mama, then she sounds ungrateful for having this wonderful husband who's providing and taking care of her, because that is most women's dream. Right? But there are other women like myself, right? And probably her too, from what she said, that their dreams are not limited to a position of a wife or a mother and to just being this person's wife. And where I do understand her is that I told God early on in my years, I said, God, I would love to marry a man of affluence and a man who does well. But I don't want to be known as, let's just say, Shannon's wife. I want to be known as, like, this is Shannon Sharpe, and this is Bryant hyphenated Sharpe.
Oh, you gonna keep your last? Oh, so you will hyphenate the last?
Okay. I mean, I've already built this thing.
Okay. I was just checking.
And this is his wife, and people go, "Oh, I know exactly who you are. You're the one that produced, or you're the doctor next to you." Or if I introduce myself, "Oh, that's Shannon. He's a Hall of Famer. Like you did your thing. We love your show." Power couple.
Okay.
Right? And so I see her saying that she wanted to have what he had the luxury of having. He has a wonderful career and he has a wonderful family. She has a wonderful family. How come she gets deemed for saying, but I want to have the same equality as my husband?
Right.
All I'm saying is love being a mama and a wife, because she's obviously doing a damn good job. Obviously.
Yes. Kids are great.
But how come I can't also want...
Why can't I have both? He has both. Why can't I? Why I got to be relegated to...
And he has both because she sat at home and allowed him to build one.
Right.
And she built the other that she is allowing him to also take credit for.
Right.
Because we know he's been on the road. Not that he ain't been a great father, because I love Steph Curry. But what she's saying is I should be able to, now that my kids they're of age, them kids look kind of grown to me.
Right.
Go create what I want. And she did try. She started doing magazines in the past and covers.
Well, I think she got cookware.
Stuff. She tried.
Right.
And so I think there's nothing wrong with her saying, look, I have aspirations too, and I'm not going to take away from what I've already been excelling at, but I'm also excellent at other things.
We had two young men, black men, Kyron Lacey and Marshawn Nealon. And we kind of briefly touched on it, not those guys specifically, but mental health in the black community. Do you think there were signs that these young men were dealing with something? It come to find out, I think the police in Louisiana said something about he caused an accident that cost someone his life, and the reports about he was about to get indicted, and it was just overwhelming. Nealon just scored his first touchdown on the Monday night game, and then all of a sudden his girlfriend is calling frantically saying he's going to end it.
with the black athletes and mental health? Because I think now more guys are getting more black. Let's speak to that because this is our community. Are starting to get in touch with their emotions, starting to get in touch. Not as much as probably more need to, but we are starting to see that shift where black men are not so rigid. Like, man, I don't need. I'm fine. My daddy didn't do it. My grandfather didn't do it. What do you think caused the shift, and how can we prevent the Marshawn Nealons and the Kyron Lacey situation?
You said something really, really primal. You said that back in the day, black men would just pretty much shove their emotions down, right? And they would not allow them to come up. So they didn't have to see them or face them, which means they didn't have to feel them.
Right.
The suicide rate was way lower then. The suicide rate is high now because you just said black men are getting more in contact with what? Their emotions. That emotion that's tied to trauma. That emotion that is tied to pain. And when that comes up, they have to feel it and they have to face it. And when there's no place to dump it or place it, then they eat it. And it internalizes. Anything that we internalize at some point is going to externalize in some form of action, whether it's them ending up in jail because they beat the shit out of somebody, domestic violence, which is a big one in sports, especially NFL, or suicide, unfortunately, right? Or deep depression. And so I think that what needs to happen is what I am so honored to be able to provide, like I said, with the Steelers and the Browns, with the players, a safe space where I am allowing them to not just feel what they feel, but externalize it. And I'm holding space for that. And I'm helping them feel it and understand what those emotions are, and also teaching them what to do with those emotions. For example, there's one of the young players has some emotions around his family using him. And there's some addiction involved and different stuff, right, within his parents. And he has a lot of emotions behind that about him being used. But he also has emotions behind him saying no because guilt comes in, right? Because there's a sense of, in the black community, entitlement.
Yes.
I'm supposed to take care of my family no matter, even if they didn't help me or do for me. You know, otherwise I'm looked at as what? The sellout or the dude who didn't do nothing for no one.
Right.
And so he's dealing with the duality of I'm being used and it feels horrible, right? To be taken advantage of by my parents who did nothing for me, but I feel guilty when I say no. So what I mean by helping him is helping him identify those emotions and then teaching him how to set boundaries that help him regulate his emotions. See, boundaries are not for people, they're for us. And they are emotional regulators, which says, look, mom, dad, I'm going to give you this amount a month. That's all you get. After that, him and I are still working on what? The guilt that comes from when they ask for more, him saying no.
No.
That may sound like a small problem to people, but to your point, that small problem to us puts that boy in a dark space of depression. And if we don't see that sign as big because it's small to us, that suicidal ideation can turn into the act of suicide.
Manifest.
And depression turns into suicidal ideation. And so my job, and I feel like it should be all of our jobs, I mean, every human, because mental health is a human right, not just a one race or gender right, but especially within our black community, is what I said early on. The check-ins need to be deeper than just, you good? When you know they're not good.
Right.
Stop asking people that. What's going on with you? Talk to me. Or talk to somebody else. I'm not leaving until you talk. No, I'm going to sit here until you express something. I'm going to call you. I'm on my way. Well, let's take a drive. Well, let's go have coffee. Let's go have tea. Let's watch a movie. Right? Those things have to be where we show more care and compassion.
Right.
I have to do it with the guys. Them guys sitting there, and a lot of them are just like, you can tell it's at the tip of their tongue. And I'm still pushing and pushing and poking. I even sometimes appropriately confront them and say things that are completely rude and off that I know will trigger them. Because if I can trigger the emotion to come out, then we got it to be externalized. I just need it to come out.
You need them to verbalize.
We need it to come out. And I need you to know it's okay. So we have to start creating safer spaces for our loved ones. And loved ones don't mean someone you live in a house with or you love. I'm talking about you see someone on the street and you're just a loving person that looks like us. The check-ins should be there. When I see a man get off the plane with a cane and he's a black older man, I have waited next to him until his wheelchair came and said, I'm gonna wait with you. And he goes, you are? But that's just me checking in with this older black man because you're here with nobody. So I am responsible as a black woman to sit here and make sure you are cared for because I'm going to take on that responsibility. And that little waiting for him made that man's whole year.
Yep.
He kept looking at me and he goes, you're just an angel. No, I'm a human that's trying to do shit right.
Right.
And I respect my elders. And I would want someone to do it for my father or my grandfather or my husband.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it for you. So we have to do them check-ins. You said, were there signs? There's always signs. And I'm not blaming the loved ones. I promise I'm not. But we do have to be accountable because I'm telling you, we see signs. We are too busy to get involved. Or them in the same thing he's been doing for the past 4 or 5 years. He's been doing that since he was 13. But he been dark since he was 13.
Right.
And you've been doing the same thing you've been doing since he been 13. Just letting it do what it does. Letting him get back on the football field. And you know, because you play ball, a lot of these kids, especially these black kids, I'm learning from working with the NFL so close now from a mental health expert standpoint, the black boys don't have supportive families. They have entitled families. You, not saying you had an entitled family, but you had a family that you took out of poverty. So you get it. I'm not saying they were entitled, but you went back and still gave it to them as though it was your duty. And I'm not saying it wasn't, but you did that like it was your duty. These black young men, Shador is an anomaly.
Yeah.
He is an anomaly. A very blessed young man to have that, okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Those boys don't have that. And I'm calling them boys because they in their 20s, they 22, they think like boys, they make a decision like they don't have that support. And the NFL needs to do a better job, which they are. Thank you for having me be a part of your doing better job with mental health, of having the me's in there and the ones that look like me in there to help these young men. Because see, I represent more than just Dr. Bryant to them. I'm black and I'm woman. I represent their mama who they never had. I represent their mama who using them right now. I represent sometimes the mama who abused them. I represent the mother who they despise, who they are resistant toward. And when they get a different experience of me being a black woman, it changes everything in them. And the way I'm able to love on them, the way I'm able to pour into them and not judge. But hold space for them is what they need. If you would have seen their reaction, let me tell you this. The session was so vulnerable, Shannon, that the director had to stop them and say, Doc, gotta go. I didn't. I would have stayed out. I love what I do. But some of the dudes was getting out their chair and walking out. Like, not walking the door, but get up like, yo, I just did. One guy walked up and said, yo, this is not her talking. This is spirit talking. Like as though it took him to church. That showed how his spirit was moved in that session. Those young men not only need it, but they deserve it at the level that they are playing in that league. And the fact that the league is starting to care more, or at least the staff that's working for the league is saying, yo, I'm working close, especially the player development directors. Those are the ones.
Yep.
You know, shout out to Ron and DY. Them dudes are changing lives in there. And they're working next to these players. And they're seeing the hardships of these players. They're knowing when someone's grieving because their mom just died.
Right.
And they coming in there, and all they can do is perform because football is performative.
Yep.
It's performative. And then you got family who wants you to perform too with your money. So that's how you end up breeding men like you, who's just performative and transactional and ain't got no space for the heart. Love you to death, but we don't want a gang of Shannon Sharpes running around from that capacity. Now, the shit you do that's good here, we do.
Yes.
But from the place of being disconnected from yourself as a man or the heart space, we don't want that because then we don't get husbands.
Right.
We don't get, I'm not saying you're not a good father, but we don't get fully involved fathers. We don't get families. We don't get the real wealth. We get detachment.
Right.
We get transactional. We get someone who can perform. And so because all you can do is that, all you want to do is be able to perform in my body. And that ain't good enough. And now what I love about our sisters are, we saying we not going to settle for that.
Right.
So y'all got to come better, which is, I believe, also what has caused y'all to have to become more vulnerable and get in contact with your emotions. Because we are now holding y'all to a higher standard and saying that although we love and go have y'all back, we need more than just performance from you. We need more than just y'all taking care of us and paying the bills. We need you present. We need your pain. We need your trauma. And we are strong enough and big enough, Black women, to hold space, facilitate them like we've been doing this entire time. And we will continue to do it. And y'all have to just allow us to do it. But I can say this. The emotions that these Black men are now coming in contact with and not having a place to dump it is causing depression. Because what do you do with emotions that you don't understand and that you didn't see your father process? He didn't show you how to process them because, to your point, he shoved them.
Right.
But you feeling them. And so even if you went to him, what does he tell you? Suck that shit up. Or, I just kept it pushing, son. That's what you did. Work, son. Work. Catch a ball. Just slide through, stick and move, son. Don't commit. It's safe in the transactional world. It's not safe over there, son. Because if you don't tell him that, he's still gonna see it. So it's learned behavior either way. And so there is a gap, and I'll wrap on that. There's a gap between the men of who are men's men. I love that your age range are just man's man. That's sexy in itself. But y'all have no emotional attachment or intelligence or heart space. It's like, yo, hello. So there's a gap between y'all, right, and the younger generation.
Right.
And how you both process emotions.
Absolutely.
Y'all see them, I'm not saying you have to, y'all see them as soft sometimes, and they see y'all as old and stuck in your ways and don't know nothing, and just stern. And there's that in between of who is teaching them when they don't know, because they've never done it, how to process their emotions. So it doesn't become a mental health illness, and we don't continue to have these beautiful young men like these two men who had a hell of a day one day, and then all of a sudden,
it's dark.
It's the worst day of your life. And you cannot tell me that happened within
that little time frame.
It did not. There was conversations that girlfriend heard. There was things that were said. And oftentimes, loved ones don't know how to respond because you also don't want to take the wrong action and trigger it.
Right.
So it's sometimes a hard position for everybody, but the best thing you can do is to get that person help. Whether it's calling the police to do a wellness check, and that is so hard because in our Black community, we don't do what? We ain't call no police. Or make a doctor's appointment and say, hey, he just needs a wellness check. You can call the school that they're at, the school psychologist, if it's school, if it's college. You can even call up to the NFL and say, yo, I think something's going on. Do a wellness check. They have psychiatrists and therapists that are on site that are supposed to be working for what they pay them to do.
This is your first book, correct?
So that's my first book I wrote in 2014.
It's called Mental Detox.
Mental Detox, yeah. And it did so well that Hay House, Random House, my publisher, the biggest publishing company in the world, shout out to Hay House, they picked that book up in addition to my new book and said, you know what, we want to redo that and add a workbook component to it because it has been so life-changing. And I self-published and it sold. It just sold, literally sold off the shelves as a self-publisher. So they picked it up, I added a workbook component, and we added more new information to it because I'm 2025, I'm a new woman. I got, new tools. And yeah,
you said 50
my
Cent,
baby.
50 Cent helped you. Lala Anthony wrote the preface, the foreword, excuse me.
She wrote the foreword.
What can we expect for people that haven't read it? What is Mental Detox?
It teaches you how to detox your mind of negative thinking, of your three-part house, how you think, how you feel, how you behave, and those things that don't serve you, that have only been putting you in positions that breed results that you don't want, right? So when we do things with an intention of what we want and we reach a different goal, that's called out of alignment. Manifestation doesn't take place in that space of disalignment. And so it talks about that. It talks about the lover's garden, how you show up emotionally within yourself so that you can actually connect and fuse with somebody else. It talks about the professional garden. So we use a garden metaphor in there, the professional garden of how you show up at work and how it impacts you, how you can optimize yourself by making sure that your thoughts and your mind and your mental health is impaired and not, having impairments. And so we talk about all that, and we cover, everything from how you process your emotions, emotional intelligence. You bring about what you think about. You have domination over your thoughts. All you have to do is possess it. A lot of us are letting our thoughts dominate us, and our mind is here to serve us, and we are serving it. And how do you allow your mind to serve you like it's supposed to? As a man thinketh, so is he. We said that earlier.
Yep.
And so we have to be very aware of what we're thinking, and you work backwards, right? What do I want to be? How do I want to show up? Then what thoughts do I need to think so that that person is curated? Another thing the Bible says, you can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears.
Yep.
Right? And so I talk about, well, we first have to figure out what fruit we want to bear. People are trying to figure out what tree they want to be or what seed to plant. It's like, wait a minute, well, how do you know what seed to plant if you don't know the fruit you want to bear?
Right.
That's where exposure to environments is important. That's where choosing someone with wisdom and not experience is important, because if I'm hearing your wisdom and it's getting me what I like, then I understand this is the fruit that I got to try to bear. Then I can understand what kind of tree I need to become, what kind of seeds. Your thoughts are your seeds. Do I need to plant? Mm-hmm. And so as I realize these are the thoughts I need to plant because they're seeds, I can water and become this tree, and I can become the fruits of my labor. And that's exactly what it teaches you in that book. And these are all principles that I've used and I still use on myself and my clients. And so they've been proven to work. And the book has been going crazy. I'm really excited about that book.
Congratulations. I saw you at the Browns camp. You caught a pass from Shador.
I did.
You athletic. I said, look at Doc.
I had a little trot. But I made it all the way.
You took your heels off?
Took my heels off. Yeah, Shador was getting fussy. He was like, go run. I was like, hold on, I'm trying to get in position. He said, girl, just run. I said, look, I told him, I said, go and throw me one of them Colorado passes. But that was before he started the good game with the Raiders, where he threw that long 55-yard pass. I said, Shador, throw me one of them good Colorado passes. He's like, you crazy, Doc. I said, throw me one of those. Yeah.
Go get a book. New book is out, Mental Detox, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Doc,
yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life.